podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the voice of the people. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
Boxingvoice.com.
You need that fear.
All I'm trying to do is make a stand for something that I truly believe is right. I truly believe is right. I don't be like you. Come on, man. I'm the face of boxing. I'm the cash cow. I hold the record with you.
My job, I know my job, I know my situation. I want to fight.
David Production.
But it's going to be very difficult for both of us.
Boxingvoice.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Boxing Voice Radio. I am your host, Nestor Gibbs. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at NestGTO. Hashtag TBV Podcast, wherever hashtags are used to stay up to date with the greatest, latest, and obviously number one on iTunes boxing podcast. Today we bring you 5 hot button topics. Billy Joe Saunders defending his WBO middleweight title versus the always dangerous Canadian David Lemieux. Second hot button topic. Mikey, I want to be great. Mikey, Lomachenko, get some weight. Mikey, I'm staying at 140 to get another title. Garcia versus Sergey Lipinets, the one that some, and I'll call them stupid boxing fans, tried to say Crawford was ducking when he vacated his title after unifying with Ndongo. Then we got to talk about the greatest welterweight known in Australia, Jeff Buzz Around You Horn, is now packing his bags. No more hometown fights in front of 50,000 Australians. Him and his kangaroo buddies are hopping on over to Las Vegas to take on the biggest challenge in the sticks. One, Terence Bud Crawford will be back in action. We got all the details. Speaking of back in action, Dillian Whyte's been on the sidelines, or at least it seems that way because of the level of opposition for the last maybe 2, I want to say, right? Well, actually, Lainez was a name, but the name that he's being mentioned with now is Tyson Fury. Eddie Hearn is looking like he wants to do Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte, especially now that UCAD has kind of raised Tyson's ban, but we'll give you all the details on that. That's right. You probably don't know, right? You probably don't listen to every single episode we do, and you only come for your Thursday and Sunday, so you're just finding out that the one true lineal heavyweight champ is back. Or he should be back, but we have to see, does he actually lose the weight? But let's head on out to the Golden State, to the home of the hipster, Hunter, and get this party started.
David Production.
This is a beautiful performance against a very tough guy in Michael Johnson. How do you feel about it?
Fuck yeah. Conor McGregor.
Boxingvoice.com.
You know me, Larry. From a wicked entrance, from a flip over the rope into a knockout. When here the main thing is, I just hope the guy, I wish.
Boxingvoice.com.
Yes, the hipsters here. Haters beware. And I think this weekend's fight, David Lemieux versus Billy Joe Saunders, or Billy Joe Saunders versus David Lemieux, to say it more correctly, is a fantastic style matchup. I can't wait to dig into that and chop that one up. Because especially since it's being sort of under the radar, like no one's really paying it any attention, and this is really the last quote unquote big fight of the year. So I can't wait to break that one down. Obviously, Mikey Garcia moving up to 140, trying to capture a 4th belt in a 4th weight division against Sergey Lipinets for the IBF strap. I can't wait to chop that one up either, because I don't know if that's the right move. And I can't wait to discuss that with Ness, because I think we're probably going to disagree on that one. And then Terence Crawford versus Jeff Horn in Las Vegas in April. I don't know about that one. I think there's, the T-Mobile Arena and its site fee is always a big thing, so I can't wait to deal with that as well and chop that one up. And then obviously Tyson Fury versus Dillian Whyte, a super heavyweight clash that if it does come to fruition, I think we can all get excited for him. We can all agree is a great matchup, especially if Tyson Fury can get the weight off. So I can't wait to chop it up with the mostly filled out panel here and the callers.
That's right. Speaking of mostly filled out panel, we actually have a co-host with us from the Garden State, filling in for another little New Jerseyan that is missing after going on a Henny-filled Twitter rant.
I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and most vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one to stop me. Lynch is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody like me. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Nippy. There's no one like me. I'm from their cloth. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. Get up!
Yes, we got some exciting fights for this weekend. Got Billy Joe with all the talking back and forth with Lemieux. Interesting fight. Mikey Garcia with Lipinets. I'm really excited for this one, man. We've always prized on how technical Mikey can be in the ring. But Lipinets also, trained by Buddy McGirt. He has a very technical and a very sound style. So that's going to be a good matchup. Jeff Hearn. Hey, man, like I said this on the chat the other day, you can expect an exciting fight from this kid. So he gets coins from me. And Tyson Fury, funny you mentioned it. Will he make the weight? That is the question. But I'm glad that things are back on track for him. So, can't wait to get into this stuff with everyone.
That's where I'm at, man. I'm really happy for Tyson. I'm glad things worked out. It was 2 years. We'll get into that actual topic in a bit. And give you all the details as to how Mr. Fury has come back to the world of boxing and become a topic on today's show. But let's go down the line. This weekend in Canada, Montreal, Billy Joe Saunders travels from the United Kingdom over to Canada to defend his title versus David Lemieux. And I like this fight. I don't know if it's because of style matchups. I don't know if it's because the level of opposition for both men, for Billy Joe. This is a good fight for David Lemieux. It's another opportunity at a world title. And like Alex said, there's been some serious back and forth talking of knocking out by Lemieux, saying he's going to knock Billy Joe out. Billy Joe going in on Lemieux, saying he's fought nothing but bums. Actually, I have some audio that I wanted to play. I'm happy I reminded myself because I know that Matt was not going to tell me.
You didn't tell me to remind you about anything, so
no.
Of course I would not have told you.
We'll put £500,000 on it if you want dollars. My lawyer's over there. That if you beat me, I will let you choose what charity, children's cancer charity, and vice versa, if you're going to do it. Or if you're not getting 500,000, then we'll negotiate what purse you are getting. But that relevant in the situation. If you're willing to do that, I am most definitely willing to do that. That's how confident I'm beating David. David has to come from round one and try and knock me out, because when he's hitting fresh air, he's got he's very injury prone. Hands, shoulders. As we've seen as a good friend of mine, James DeGale, rushed an injury back, didn't plan out. So what I don't want is from David's team is an excuse.
Interesting. He made it clear too. He said £500, but he said dollars. He wants to bet $500,000. David Lemieux. I guess.
And the money goes to charity.
Yeah, and I know you're gonna.
I like that. I like that.
I know. Let me just say my mean shit, right? Like, to me, I don't like that it's a charity bet, right? Because it's like there's no risk. You give it to charity, it's a tax write-off. Let's be clear for anybody who didn't know. You give it to charity, you look like a saint. You give it to charity, it makes it okay if you lost. Now, if it's a $500,000 bet and dicks are on the line, that's the bet I want to see. All this, give it to charity.
You want to see the Eagles hurt bet.
Hell yeah. I want to see you go home with no money.
Let's be honest, these purse bets are kind of lame, period.
That's because no one's actually gone through with it, Matt.
Exactly. It's just lame. It's just tease us. Just talk. And just to correct you, Ness, the fight's in Quebec, not Montreal.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
They tease us with this bullshit. You know what I mean? It's always like, yeah, let's bet $1 million, Canelo.
But Billy Joe Saunders is smart. And plus, he added the charity in there, which I love. I think that's such a great PR stunt. You know his handlers told him to say that. You know it. That was 100%.
Did he melt your heart?
No. I'm just saying, like, I know when a guy's trying to push some buttons to get some fan appreciation. I appreciate that. I can respect the hustle.
Now, you spoke of style matchups. I'm going to be honest. I've never picked Lemieux in any fight.
What?
Really?
No. I never thought Lemieux. I mean, you could go back years and hear me not think highly of Lemieux. It was difficult. I believe he lost to Joe Alcine is a guy that J-Rock just came back and beat or probably beat up before the come. I don't even know. You know what I mean? It's a very, very old journeyman from like French or somewhere like that. You know that
from France.
France. He shouldn't have. He's French, but he's from France. By the way, Adrian Broner dropped a mixtape. Have you heard it, Matt?
Wanted.
Very quickly, I did get a leaked copy of Eminem's new album, which is dropping, I think, tonight. We can talk about that overtime.
Whatever. Did you hear Adrian Broner, who's actually a boxer?
No, I did not hear that.
Eminem is not a boxer. We're talking boxer.
I know the name of the album is called Wanted and or named Wanted. And
you know what I want for you to talk
tracks. Got like 18 tracks in there.
I got through like 2 songs. Seems like it's a ladies album.
I heard his last mixtape that he dropped like 4 months ago. That was, whatever.
Who's gonna help me backtrack to where I lost it when I went into the bro?
You brought up Styles.
So my whole thing behind always like picking against him. I think I even picked Rosado to beat Lemieux because I just don't. I think Lemieux could be outboxed. I seen what Rubio did, and I even picked Hassan Endam.
Wow.
Well, he has that Ford style, that Ford style fighting. That's his style, but
it's not even that. It's that he shows up. Is that you can outbox him and outwork David Lemieux? Absolutely.
Let me tell you something. He since the Gennady Golovkin fight, his last 4 fights, he's looked very good.
Very.
Yeah, to me, very good.
I don't remember him looking good. I don't remember him looking good versus that Christian Fabian Rios dude.
I mean, he's always gonna find trouble with boxer punches or boxers.
And Glenn Tapia, remember, he's 154. Glenn. You've sparred Glenn. You spar Glenn, not sparred. You spar Glenn. He's small. His best weight was at 54. Golden Boy gave him a good deal. He moved to 60, and it was all dangerous for Glenn at 60. So, I think he's been strategically given the right opponents thus far, especially signing to Golden Boy. And I mean, Lemieux, you think about it, after losing to Gennady, they said, look, we could sign you. We could rebuild you. Don't worry about it. Come with us. We'll make it easy to rebuild you and get you a title shot, which they have, right? So how do they do that? They put him in there with a name. He's been in there with James Kirkland. He's made some great fights, exciting fights. Glenn Tapia, bring him back. Boom, big knockout for David Lemieux. Easy, Take him out to his hometown, let him do his thing in front of his public. And they fight this guy, Christian Fabio Rios, but he looked bad. And there was leaked footage of it. People got to see it. They had to bring him back versus a recognizable name, but a short middleweight. A short middleweight that also got knocked out or lost to at least Jesse Brinkley that none of you guys on this panel probably even know. That's, how it works, right? So outside of him being knocked out by Gennady Golovkin, but boom, here goes David Lemieux, big left hook, sleeps Curtis Stevens, knockout of the year possibly, looks good. Marco Reyes, I don't even remember that fight. I don't know where this happened. It says T-Mobile Arena. Never heard of it. Never remembered it. I don't know. But I really thought Endam would have been the one to do it with his boxing skill. But Lemieux continues to shock me, right? He's beat these guys.
Oh, by the way, the Marcus Reyes was on the Julio Cesar Chavez Canelo card.
There you go. Never heard of him. He's beat these guys, but none of these guys are like maybe Gabe. I don't even know. Like you can't even say Gabe is a B+, bro. Like, maybe he's getting there now. Like he's one of those fighters that's peaking late. He's learning his craft. No,
but then he got look who Rosado's been matched up with.
He's just
Yeah, but you just mentioned that Glenn was nothing for Lemieux. So how can Glenn mean something for
because
Rosado? Hold on. How can Glenn mean something for Rosado but not mean anything for Lemieux?
Because they're more natural. Remember, Rosado was always a 54. He moved up to fight Gennady and stood there.
Because Lemieux is just a naturally bigger middleweight, he doesn't get the due credit.
Yeah, because he's fighting a smaller man.
That's your opinion.
Not due credit. He gets credit. He gets credit, but I just always keep that in the back of my mind. You know what I mean? But of these names, the biggest, right? Because I don't even know how to categorize the tier that this man would fall on, but I believe the highest level tier that he can fall on, his name has to be Hassan N'Dam. That's like the guy with the most upside out of all of Lemieux's wins. And even N'Dam just lost to Toyota Corolla, a.k.a. Royota Marola, the WBO champ, that top rank.
Toyota.
Yeah, Corolla Toyota.
But here's the thing. Again, styles make fights, and Lemieux has the chin and the durability to potentially take Saunders shots, walk through his offense, and wear him down, which he did to a Rosado, which he did to Hassan N'Dam.
I actually think different. I actually think that Billy Joe is actually going to be able to outbox.
I think so too. I'm going to say it now before you guys get it deeper into your things, and then I look like a piggybacker. I was going to pick him, but then again, I also made a case that I always pick against Lemieux, right? Yeah. Especially if you're a boxer, you know. Like when I seen N'Dam, I was like, oh yeah, N'Dam will dance circles around this guy, and he got knocked out. But I think Billy is a little bit better, more skilled, pedigree as well.
I think Billy Joe Saunders has never faced a style in the pros quite like David Lemieux's, while David Lemieux has faced enough boxers without power to be able to figure that out potentially.
I don't know, man.
If you look at Andy Lee, Chris Eubank Jr., while those are great wins, those are not a David Lemieux in terms of style, in terms of that aggressive, like.
I mean, Eubank is.
Eubank is high level activity, and that fight was high level.
Different style. His angles are different. His approach is different.
It is. I think that
that was also a Eubank that definitely was not in his prime yet. Eubank is in his prime now.
But they were both green, though, Matt. They were both green at the time. That was a domestic level fight, so you know.
It was. But obviously Saunders had the skill level to win that fight on decisions and in a close fight. Let's not forget it was a close fight.
Saunders' resume looks good. You got to go with Saunders, man.
But then you look at what has he done since he beat Andy Lee for the title?
Victim of circumstances is what I would chalk it up to. And
you don't think inactivity is going to play a part in this?
And listen, and you're asking the wrong person.
How long was that inactivity?
It's not a lot of inactivity because you're asking the wrong person. Let me just tell you, it was 2016 where he only had one fight, but 17 he's on par with all the major elite level fighters to have 2 a year. And let's not forget, this year he beat Willie Monroe. I ranked that win. That's a good win. That's a good
Willie Monroe is the antithesis of what a David Lemieux is. He is the exact opposite of what a David Lemieux is. So it's very hard to get an idea of what Billy Joe Saunders can do with the pressure and power of a.
Well, he was an aggressive boxer puncher with Willie Monroe Jr. We're probably not going to see that with David Lemieux.
No, he can't do it.
You know, we're probably going to get. That's why I'm you know, like I'm not trying to piggy bank like Ness said, but I'm leaning more towards the Billy Joe, man, because if this goes the distance, I don't feel as though David Lemieux's style is going to be able to outbox Billy Saunders' style in a 12-round match. You know, now if Lemieux can, you know, hit him with that TNT early, he might be able to finish.
Has he ever been dropped that you know?
Billy Joe?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
You got it. Yo, listen, Andy Lee's a puncher.
But Andy Lee was 37 years old.
And he was moving up from 54. Like he was a natural 54 for a long time.
After that, I believe. Didn't Andy Lee retire after that? And now he's a coach?
Possibly. I don't know. But Andy Lee wasn't in wars like that to suggest that his 37 or the time of that fight he was old. That was thought in my mind because
the Peter Quillen war. He was just coming off the Peter Quillen war.
Yo, come on, man. Come on. You're gonna go that far and call it.
Let me finish.
You're gonna call that fight with Peter Quillen a war, Matt.
That was a war. There was multiple knockdowns in that fight. Anyways, Andy Lee is.
I mean, he had another fight.
Doomsday, why are you interrupting me? Andy Lee is not the same style as David Lemieux. They are very different styles in how they deliver their power. Andy Lee trying to catch someone coming in.
So go ahead and say it, Matt. Why you all with this bullshit probing? You picking Lemieux? Say it.
I am. It's by knockout.
Say it.
Yeah.
Early rounds.
Not early rounds. I think probably before round 9.
Matthew Hunter and picking David Lemieux to stop Billy Joe.
Counting the round too. Ninth round.
Listen,
remember that.
It's not like it's a bad pick, Matt. I mean, I can make a case for you. A, like you said, inactivity. B, fluctuation in weight. C, lack of motivation and or right because this guy, he one day he wants to fight, doesn't want to fight. He's tweeting pictures of his genitals. He doesn't know what he wants to do. This guy. So, but his resume is still good.
I think he's a little bit better version of Rosado, to be honest. In terms of no power and technique, and he's purely a boxer. He likes to be on the back foot, likes to use that jab. I think he's going to win rounds, but I think eventually David Lemieux is going to catch him. Eventually, David Lemieux is going to be able to crowd him and be able to force him to engage his fight.
Well, on the undercard, a common opponent of Billy Joe Saunders, Gary O'Sullivan, will be mixing it up with Antoine Douglas, who lost to Solchecki, I think, right? Am I saying that right? Did he lose to Solchecki or was it Michael Soro? Come on.
Ooh, I forget. I don't have BoxRec open like you do all the time.
I don't have it. I'd had I wouldn't need you to help.
I think it was Selecki. I think it was him. I don't think it was Soro.
Selecki. Let's see. It is Antoine Douglas versus Gary O'Sullivan. And that's actually the co-main event. He's traveling from the DMV, Baltimore, Virginia, Maryland area to Canada. And his loss is to, the Russian mobster.
Curtsy.
Advantages Katsides. Whatever it is. Avantidili.
Antvil Curtsy.
Yeah, what Matt said, allegedly.
Yeah,
that is his name.
The reason I wanted to bring up my boy here, Antoine Douglas, I've been following him for a while. He may still be signed to GH3 Promotions, so it's local to me. And he's been in some AC shows, he's been on some Barclay shows, he's been on some Washington DC shows. Obviously being signed to H3, GH3, he's able to get on PBC cards, Golden Boy cards, etc. And he had that setback by jumping in there with Kurt Cedes. But Douglas, Kurt Cedes is a naturally small middleweight. Remember, Kurt Cedes spars or used to spar at my gym. I've spoken to plenty of people that have been in the ring, like even Hakeem Nurse has been in the ring with him. Even guys as little as what's the guy that you got in there with, Matt? The 22-pounder. But he's really like 122. The Spanish kid, Alex, come on.
The Keith Thurman look like?
Oh, Cintron.
Oh.
He's even been in there with him, right? Curcides is sure. I'm sure if you check on BoxRec, he's like 5'5" or 5'4".
Yes.
And Douglas wasn't able to take that. Like I've always thought Douglas should have been at 54. Because of the way that he ran through Thomas Lamana, who was a 54-pounder moving up. But outside, like he just hasn't had any marquee win. Even the Gary O'Sullivan won't be a marquee win. It's just going to be like a recognizable win. But I hope that he could win in good fashion to kind of elevate himself back up. I know that Gary lost to, like I said, Billy Joe Saunders, but that was by unanimous decision. He was stopped by Chris Eubank. So common opponent with someone with a few names on his resume, even though they're in losses. But he also has gotten a lot of U.S. coverage, Gary O'Sullivan, like maybe his last 10 or so, mixing in maybe one
What do you define by coverage?
Well,
what's the definition of coverage? I'm very curious.
Media coverage, right? He's fighting a lot in the U.S. He's been fighting out of Boston, and he's kind of like playing the whole Ireland. I think he's from Ireland or Irish or whatever. I think he's playing that card. I believe Golden Boy had him once. If you check, he might have even been on the undercard for Andre Durrell when DeGale fought him. He's been fighting here for some time now, since like 2014. Even when he fought Billy Joe, it was the year before he decided to leave and come to the U.S. You know, outside of fighting predominantly in the U.S., he had like one fight in Dublin and one fight in the UK.
He's never been on my radar, so I didn't know that, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
Spike O'Sullivan? That's weird. I guess I got on him.
He was always, to me, a domestic barometer.
Definitely a domestic level fighter. I believe I got on him because of the Chris Eubank fight. You know, obviously he got a little profile boost there, you know. And I'm not sure if because I know he fought Quigley, so I just don't know if that's Jason Quigley's brother that he might have beat. But yeah, I just wanted to mention, you know,
we're gonna be doing picks at all this for this weekend.
I mean,
we just made them. What are you talking about?
We just made.
No, I mean from the callers.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're gonna write it down. I see you with a notebook.
Yeah.
Yumi's not gonna be on Sunday though, so what's the point?
I know he's gonna miss the whole show Sunday, and we're not gonna even have a crew list.
Enrique does. That's what Steven does. Like, come on. Like, we know.
Maddie, you have to have faith, my child.
Yes. So, like I said, I just wanted to mention, you know, Antoine Douglas, because he suffered that loss to a tough guy in Kurt Cedes that, you know, 2 years from now, boxing fans won't even remember. It'll just be a loss on Antoine Douglas's record, and he'll lose value and credit for it because they didn't know how good and how much of a beast in terms of like that Ruslan Pavatnikov type of style Kurt Cedes brings. So it's just a lot of pressure. So keep an eye out for him. He's going to be on the undercard, obviously, of the Billy Joe Saunders versus David Lemieux.
Also, very quickly, I think that Eric Skoglund, who is now in medically induced coma due to sparring, was supposed to be on this card. So just want to say a special, you know, shout out to you, Eric Skoglund. You know, thoughts and prayers to you in the hospital right now. That is a serious issue in the sport right now. Is brain damage. So just everyone, you know, keep him on your mind. Thoughts and prayers to everyone.
Matt is always so good at remembering those things, or remembering to at least make mention of them. So I was going to transition into Mikey. We spoke a little bit about it. I'm not going to waste too much time. I guess my question I was holding off was how much, or let's rephrase that. Is it an accurate comparison to say Sergey Lipinets has a Ruslan Pavatnikov type of style?
Did you watch his last fight, Ness?
Absolutely not.
No, it's not. They're very bad comparisons.
Yeah, Ruslan is a balls.
I gotta look it up. I'm sure I watched it, but who remembers it? You know, he was unimpressive.
Akihiro Kondo for the vacant IBF strap.
He boxed the hell out of him on his back foot too.
I would not say he boxed the hell out of him. He definitely outboxed him.
Well, you know, tomato. That's what I meant. He boxed. If he didn't box, the pressure that the other guy was putting on him would have definitely cracked him. He was able to outbox, man. That's why I can't compare him to Ruslan.
No, you had a very different style. Sergey Lipinets likes to leave his lead hand down and invite a counter.
Yeah. A lot of bobbing and weaving.
But he doesn't have that high guard, that bob and weave, come in aggressive style. That's not really a Sergey Lipinets, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He has a few more gears to him, or levels to him, than a Provodnikov. But I don't think he's not as effective as a Provodnikov, in my opinion.
This fight's going to be great. I'm curious to see what Mikey Garcia is going to do. You know, he's always beating these guys impressively.
He knocks out Sergey Lipinets. He's another Dejan Zlatishinin. And let's be honest, that Zlatishinin at least had a Ricky Burns on his resume. Who's Sergey Lipinets' barometer? Who's his top 10 win? He doesn't have that. So I really don't know what we have with Sergey Lipinets. And like you said, Mikey usually feeds on guys like this.
So you're counting him out.
Potential. What was that?
I mean,
you're counting him out then.
Sergey Lipinets?
Yes.
Yes. I think this was a belt grab. To be,
he fought our boy. Sorry, man. He fought our boy Clarence Booth down from Keith Thurman's.
Florida.
Yeah, he beat him.
Booth is. I mean, if you're a grinder, you can grind past Booth.
So
he's.
And I mean, Matt, how much credit do we give him for his last opponent, Akira Kondo? I mean,
very little. He fought a relatively no one, somebody not in the top 10 who had 7 losses for a vacant strap. Again, Dejan Zlaticanin had a Ricky Burns on his resume at least. He at least had that. And we saw what Mikey Garcia did.
It's all the hardcore hype that was behind Sergey.
No. Here's the thing. Sergey Lipinets is 100% skilled and probably has a higher ceiling than the guys we mentioned, like a Provodnikov or Zlaticanin. But this is too soon, too quick. This is a Lubin. This is Erickson Lubin all over again. You have a red hot prospect and you're feeding him to a champion for no reason way too early. This is not how you build up a prospect. And like I said, this is a pure belt grab by Mikey.
But
140 is barren. They're all vacant straps. All these belts are for grab. And it's going for the 4th division championship. I understand it.
You're saying this is not what you do, but where's the upside in Lipinets? Like, if you keep him a champion and you spoon feed him to grow his brand, do you grow it? I mean, what do we know of him? Does he have a fan base? Can he sell tickets? The upside is with Mikey.
How do we know with the guy who fights? How do we know that?
How do we know that? Because Shakur Stevens has 2 fights, 3 fights, and he brings and sells tickets. Teofimo Lopez isn't a medalist, brings and sells tickets. There's plenty of fighters like man, I forgot this other Zachary Ochoa. He's not an Olympic guy, but they put him on Barclay cards because he sells those tickets. You know,
I don't know what Sergey Lipinets sells, but I know he main event his last PPC card with Akira Kondo. I don't know if that was the main event. I can check.
Was it toe-to-toe Tuesdays, bro? Like, come on.
Hey, again, you're talking about upside. I'm already downplaying this fight, so I'm not going to sit here and defend the upside because there's no upside in Lipinets. But as a promoter, if you have a prospect with skill, you should not feed him to a fucking champion like Mikey.
Okay,
if you want to build him up, unless you want to feed him. If you want to feed him to a champion, then that's your goal. But I think that's wrong. I think that's malpractice on the promoter side. I should put it that way.
When is this fight scheduled?
Doomsday, you're a fighter. You're a fighter. You just won a vacant title, and you probably made no fucking money. All right, let's just be honest. Vacant titles. He could have probably fought for $35,000 for that strap.
Probably.
So you're telling me now they're offering you a super fight, and you're gonna say no? This is money.
No. As a fighter, yeah,
an opportunity.
This is an opportunity. I understand the point of view coming from Matt because that is the reality of the sport.
As a fighter, by the way, I'm not talking. I'm talking as the promoter and his handlers.
That's what I'm saying. It's
put him in this position.
Yeah, but as a promoter, he's getting his fighter the biggest fight possible. Mikey Garcia is a high-profile fight.
Is it winnable?
Is it winnable?
Your job as a promoter and handler is to position your fighter for the biggest fight that's also winnable.
So you, as the promoter for Lipinets, wouldn't give him this fight? That's
no, I wouldn't. I would. If I was his handlers, I don't know if promoter is the right person to say. But
if this offer boom fell on your desk, you would turn this down for Lipinets?
I don't know what the offer is. What are you talking about?
I mean, if
no idea what the offer is.
Yeah, the offer to fight Mikey Garcia obviously is going to be something worth his while. So it's like.
Don't know that. We don't. What are you talking about?
Listen.
Freaking Dow just got paid 25% of the pot. You don't think they're gonna rip or rip off Sergey Lipinets in this deal? Come on, man. Let's just be honest here.
Rip off?
Let's just
no. That's not rip off.
Belt grab. It's a belt grab for Mikey and
Matt, you gotta let other people talk other than yourself, because all you do is your narrative is the only one that you like to push around here. You can call it a belt grab, but give someone an opportunity to at least.
I didn't hear you talking. I'm
sorry. Angle, you know what I'm saying? Like, you keep saying that that's all it is, but for Lipinets, it's a big fight.
It is 100%. I've never denied that. I've always said
You can't shame a promoter for getting his fighter the biggest possible fight.
Yes, I can.
How
Absolutely.
So when no, hold on a minute. When Chris Algieri beat Ruslan Pavatnikov and he got Pacquiao, bad on Bob Arum and Joe DeGuardia, huh? This is the biggest fight available to Sergey.
You think Eddie Hearn was wrong for putting Kell Brook against Triple G? Or Amir Khan's handlers for putting him against Canelo?
No.
I do.
No.
I do. I think putting your fighter up there just for a pure money grab, if this is what this is, and
you have to stop using those words. First of all, the fighter works for the promoter and the advisor. The advisor is there to tell the fighter, listen, this isn't the right thing to do, Khan. Going to 160 isn't good. The promoter is the one that's supposed to say, Amir Khan, we can guarantee you $4 million plus $1 backside off every pay-per-view bought. It's up to the manager and the advisor to tell Khan what to do, and Khan ultimately makes the decision like Lipinets did. They offered Lipinets a certain amount. You keep saying belt grab. No. They said, yo, you want to make, hypothetically speaking, 500,000?
Lipinets in this matchup. They're not caring about Sergey Lipinets. This is about Mikey.
So wait, so Lipinets can't say no? Why are you acting like he can't say no and go fight a fucking bum?
But we all know the fighter's going to take the fight. We all know that.
You're saying
you're yelling.
Wording it as if the promoter is doing this to the fighter. Stop wording it that way. It is the fighter that accepted the offer. He could easily say, "I don't want to fight Mikey for."
The fighter's always going to accept the big fight. Kell Brook is always going to take the Triple G fight and the chance for glory and money. We all know that. It's the job on the managers, the advisors, the promoters, or whoever you want to say.
It falls on the fighter.
Hold on, let me finish my sentence, please. It's on the handler's job to say, hey, this may not be the best route for you. This may not be a winnable fight. Yes, it's a money. You're definitely going to get a lot of money. But we can get this fight maybe a year from now, 2 years from now. We can hold on. Let's build up to this. Let's get you ready for this fight. Is that not the handler's job to say that?
Absolutely. And okay, you're gonna tell me that boxing hasn't proven to us that fighters get offered a fight today and they deny it, and then 2 years later or a year later or 6 months later, that same fight
you're on a black book
back. All of a sudden that fight comes back. It is up to Sergey Lipinets to think that he can do something.
I absolutely agree with that. I never denied that.
All right. Maybe Lipinets told himself, like you just said in the beginning of the opening argument, 140 is empty. Ain't really nothing out there. Mikey's the biggest name. If I don't say yes, Mikey easily could go defend his 135-pound title versus Lomachenko, versus Linares. And who am I stuck with as Sergey Lipinets to fight? Jose fucking Ramirez?
Again, I've always said Sergey Lipinets will take this fight every day of the week. Hold on, let me finish.
Bow down. Ness got you this time.
I'm not wrong, because I'm not talking as the fighter.
That's the biggest fight. That boy
I'm not talking about the fighter's perspective. I don't know how many times I need to state that, Ness.
Well, and I'm also talking about
Ness, because you keep telling me that I need to let you talk. I let you talk, now let me talk, please.
Go.
The fighter will always take the matchup. We know that. Fighters have that mentality. We all
not always.
Come on, Doomy. Like, we don't think Canelo wanted Triple G for 2 years, and Oscar wasn't the one time. Hey, wait.
No, Oscar was telling him, hey, wait with a fucking check. Like, hey, if you wait, we could do this and it'll give you this much more money.
Exactly.
It's up to the fighter to say, yeah, so stop with this. You don't think that and you don't think this. No, we don't think shit. We only know what we know when it's on that fight.
Their managers and advisors and the promoters.
My whole thing is that Matt, listen, like, I get it, right? Because I'll he asked me, would the fighter take it? Yeah, Lipinets believes in himself. And he privies himself a shot. So, but at the end of the day, it's like, boxing. I know boxing. We know it's not the right move from a business perspective, because if you know that he's gonna lose, it's like you're saying that basically he's gonna lose. So this is not the way. You know what I'm saying? And fighters don't always feel that way.
Let me tell you something. Danny Garcia is 27 years old, multiple division champion. Okay, unified at 140, champion at welterweight, made millions, 27 years old. Sergey Lipinets is 28 years old. Okay, it is now Doomsday. Matt is living in dream world because, he's the same type of guy that's waiting for a fighter to have a union and a fucking 401k plan. And I would love that too. But we living in reality, and reality indicates that this is Sergey's big fight, and he needs to jump on it or someone else will, because guess what? Mikey is a hot commodity. We're making shows around here left and right about who Mikey could fight and Mikey should fight. You know, if you go watch our patreon.com / the Boxing Voice interview with Keith One Time Thurman, 3-hour interview with Keith One Time Thurman, where he goes into detail about Mikey and calls it Mikey's, attempt to fight him bogus. You know what I mean? So go and check it out for yourselves. Like, Mikey's name has been mentioned with Pacquiao. Mikey's name has been mentioned with Broner. He took that fight. His name has been mentioned now with Lomachenko for months. Lainez, like, what are you talking about? Mikey is absolutely the perfect and correct route for a young up-and-coming guy that's 28 years old from Russia that has no fucking upside. None. He wasn't groomed or built. He wasn't groomed or built like Sergey Kovalev, in New York City and in Atlantic City. That didn't happen for
he came out here with that, Russian style. He Buddy got him, moving and grooving and kind of boxing, you know what I mean?
Dude, he got a fight. Listen, Doomsday, what another thing that your boy's not even checking, he got a title shot after 13 fights. He's on that Lomachenko, Guillermo Rigondeaux fast track. It's how don't you see that?
On a Lubin track. He's on an Erickson Lubin track.
No, Lubin took longer. This guy got a title shot at 13 fights.
There was established champions in the division. You had one guy with all the belts in the division just leave. Of course, take that vacant track.
Still was coming for him. This guy still was coming for Crawford.
And you can't use the Lubin.
There was headlines with him and Crawford.
Take that step aside money though.
Who?
Didn't Lipinets take that step aside money to allow the Julius and Dongo fight to happen?
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that either, because he allowed a unification. We would have probably been mad.
Of course,
we would have been mad. And listen, just to end it with the nail on the coffin, right? Mikey stands at the very top at this 140. Then you got names like Victor Postal, Julius Ndongo, Rancis Bartholomew, Adrian Broner, who Mikey already beat and would be a big fight, or possibly bigger fight.
I don't think Broner's at 140 though.
All right, but hypothetically, that's his last fight. That was his last fight. So we don't know. Did Mikey steal all of Broner's thunder? Does Broner still have some thunder and lightning in his popularity? And would Sergey versus Broner be a bigger fight? But let's be real. Does Broner want that? Because we heard rumors of Broner versus Lipinets, and all of a sudden it's Mikey. Don't forget, we heard rumors of Broner. So Josh Taylor, you want him to go fight Josh Taylor? You know what I'm saying? Like, where's the names at, bro? Felix Diaz, Anthony Yiggett. Where's the names at? Edward Tronowski? Where's he going to make the Mikey Garcia money at, Matt? Show me where he makes the Mikey Garcia money. Go.
I have never said that he's going to make more money against anyone else in the 140-pound division other than Mikey Garcia. Except for maybe an Adrian Broner, since you are throwing him in the mix. But I'm going to throw him out because it doesn't count. Just for your argument. Mike Garcia is absolutely the most money he can get in the 140-pound division. I've never denied that in my entire point. In all my points, I've never denied that. But if you're his handler, and you have a 13-0 fighter, and you don't want him to lose, this is not the route to take. Now, if you are very confident in your fighter, or you want him just to get the most money possible, then yeah, take the fight. But I think as a handler, you shouldn't think that way. That's just my own.
I can't with you, man. I can't with you.
That's
Matt's so upset about me disagreeing on this point.
It's Matt's promoter side.
It's the way you're blaming handlers and promoters for the action of a fighter. It's unfair. It's unethical. It is up to the fighter to sign the contract.
Difficult for me to question what the handlers were thinking here.
Absolutely, because it's all assumption at that. When we all know that
you're assuming as well. You're assuming as well.
No, the fact of the matter is the fighter hires the
came to him and said the correct thing. You are.
The fact
you
of
are
the
assuming that.
The fact of the
so
matter.
we're both assuming here. So I don't know why you want to question my assumption over yours.
I'm not assuming, because the facts here are fighters hire and fire promote.
No, but what are the facts here in this case?
That Sergey is in charge. He's the fighter. He has ultimate say. Al Heyman cannot say, Sergey, you are fighting Mikey. It doesn't work that way. You know it and I know it. And people that have been listening to this show know it, because they know I've interviewed dozens of Al Heyman fighters, and they always say they come to me with 3 guys. 3 guys. You heard Thurman tell you in your face. So you're going to tell me all of a sudden Lipinets is being fucking treated unfairly, and they're like, yo, you only got Mikey. That's all we got for you, or you going to sit out. Come on.
You don't know anything to the contrary. So you're again assuming. Ness. I don't know why you.
All right. So you know what's not an assumption? The fighter has to say yes.
Of course, but the fighter's always going to say yes to this fight. That's my point.
Not necessarily.
Not true.
I think
that's not true.
Sorry. I'm using the word always.
Yo, Danny Garcia
90% of the fucking time, the fighter.
Danny Garcia said no to Sean Porter.
Okay, because he's coming off a loss. Sergey Lipinets is an undefeated fighter. Every undefeated fighter thinks they're
my girlfriend, this guy. He's got a fucking excuse for everything. Call you backpedal, motherfucker. Oh, now Danny doesn't want to fight. Oh, is
Sergey Lipinets coming off a loss? Is Mikey Garcia coming off a loss? So that's a false comparison, Ness. Bring a more accurate comparison next time, homie. Come on.
Danny can say no now. He's coming off a loss. You got excuses coming out the wazoo, baby.
Every fighter can say yes. I've never denied that. Have I said no?
Tú eres la única con quien hablo por el wazoo. Yeah, man, you got mad excuses. Listen, we could keep it moving to another ill-managed fighter. Let's move on to another ill-managed fighter according to Matt standards.
Which one?
Jeff Hearn is being not built up as a star. He can sell 50,000 in Australia. He proved it with Cochran. He proved it with Pacquiao. He really proved it with Cochran. That was the nail on the coffin. That was showing you that he generates his own star power by filling that stadium up with Cochran, who is I never even heard of Cochran. Only Cochran I know is the fucking lawyer, and that dude's dead for so long that I don't even remember his first name. Johnny Cochran.
Remember, it was Wednesday. It was a Wednesday, not even a Saturday. There was a Wednesday card,
and he still did 50K, right? I mean, what was the accurate number? I don't want to say 50K, and it wasn't.
It was big. Though.
There was a lot of people there. That's for sure.
It's more than we most times.
And talk about ESPN and Bob Arum's ability to promote and negotiate deals. How many times are they going to fucking replay this Jeff Hearn fight? They got me sick already with all the fucking times they're replaying this shit. Happened at 6 in the morning yesterday. They got it playing at like at 8 and 9 yesterday again. Now they got it playing today at 10:15 or some shit like that. I got emails saying they're going to play it again. They really pushing this Hearn kid.
He's excited. He brings excitement to the ring. I'll tell you that. But what would be the opinion on the promoters handling him, Matt? Because it looks like they're bringing him up kind of quick.
They're feeding him to Crawford, according to Matt.
That I could agree with Matt. On this one, I totally agree with the way you're looking at things. Because
Blanco, you can't agree with him because in this one you are correct. Matt is not correct because he chose to say they're feeding Lipinets when the true fucking main course is Jeff Hearn. Because if anyone should be arguing about any case of a fighter being fed up too early, is Matt now, because Hearn actually sells tickets.
I am arguing. What are you talking about? You would let me make that point, Ness. You're not letting me make the point.
On him. Where's my soundbite? He's got a country. He's got a country. Where's that at? There it goes. It's going to take a long time to build. Let me let it play. But go ahead.
Jeff Hearn, I would agree, Matt. They,
got a country behind him. A country.
He got a country. You know, Floyd used to be mad because Pacquiao had that country behind him. But now look at
the right fight for a Jeff Hearn right now would be more like a Jesse Vargas. But unfortunately, I don't really know what the relationship is with Jesse Vargas and Top Rank at this point.
What do you mean by that, Matt? You sound like such an amateur. You know that there is no relationship with Jesse Vargas and Top Rank because Jesse is now with Al Heyman.
Al Heyman's not a promoter.
No, he's not.
He's with Top Rank and still be biased by Al Heyman.
So now Matt's gonna listen to all the guys that've been listening for 5 years. So now Matt's gonna act.
Didn't Jesse Vargas say he's still Top Rank though? Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I thought I saw an interview where he said that. Yeah, I'm with Heyman, but I'm still with Top Rank.
No. Probably finishing on. I don't know.
No way.
I could be wrong. Maybe I'm
real quick.
You sound crazy right now.
Real quick,
that's fine.
That would be the first ever Heyman Top Rank fighter.
I mean, do Heyman and Bob really not like each other anymore?
It's not about like. It's not about like. Heyman's mantra is you don't need a promoter.
But what about Daniel Jacobs?
Well,
right? I mean, Al Heyman's just an advisor. Let's
yeah, you know, and he advised Daniel that was the best thing to do. And it was, you know, because of that the landscape in that division. See, everything ain't for everybody. And for Daniel, it was right to stay at 60 and go to HBO. But that doesn't mean that that's the right thing for fighter B.
But again, I'm not talking about HBO. I'm talking about promoter. He is signed with Eddie Hearn now. That's what I'm purely talking about.
Allegedly, right? Because I could use the word allegedly the same way that I say Deontay is signed to Lou DiBella. It's on Lou DiBella's site. All the press releases say he promotes Deontay, but Eddie comes on the show and says he doesn't promote Deontay.
I thought it was very clear that they had a multi-fight deal with Darren Jacobs. Again, I could be wrong. Maybe I need to go back and look at some articles and everything like that. And look.
No, articles will indicate that Deontay is promoted by Lou DiBella.
Again, I'm not talking about Deontay. I'm only talking about Al Heyman fighters signing more than per fight deals with promoters. That does happen, in my opinion, from what I've seen, at least as of recent. Now, back to Jesse Vargas, Jeff Horn, Terence Crawford, because, again, we got way off topic here.
All your fault.
Yeah, all my fault. You're right, Ness, and you're right, Doomy. Jeff Horn is absolutely being fed to Terence Crawford. He's being given that belt because we can all admit, while Jeff Horn's exciting, he's fun to watch. He's awkward. He has some good offensive abilities. He's a little bit unorthodox. He is defensively flawed in a ton of ways that Terence Crawford should be able to capitalize and win very easily. In my
Dominantly.
opinion. Yes. And like you said, Ness, Jeff Horn does have an audience. He does have a drawing power, unlike maybe a Sergey Lipinets. Like and again, I think if I was his promoter, I would not put Jeff Horn against Terence Crawford right now. But the problem is that the promoter for like Bob Arum is promoting both Terence Crawford and Jeff Horn. If I'm the promoter and handlers for Terence Crawford, Jeff Horn's the right matchup. If I'm Jeff Horn, Terence Crawford's not the right matchup.
Horn could easily get a controversial win again, and this turns into a three-peat. They do the next one in Australia.
Don't even say that.
I mean, it's possible, bro. It's possible. You know why? Because he's a big kid. I didn't watch the whole Gary Cochran fight, right? Because it came on at 6. Then I caught the replay on the app, which is better than waiting for the actual replay. And I just got busy. You know what I mean? But he started off that first round. He looked good.
He just gets
hit big. He looked big.
A lot. That's the reason why like this fight was even a little bit closer, and some people even had it like a draw heading into the 11th round.
But he stopped the guy, didn't he?
Due to cut.
Yeah. What, headbutts? Because they complained about headbutts.
No, it was a TKO, so it was not due to headbutt, I believe. It was due to a punch. Because they ruled it TKO, so it can't be a headbutt, I believe.
Yeah. Well, you know, look, we desperately are awaiting Crawford's, I guess, debut at 47. So whether it's with Horn, Cochran, anybody, whatever, and let's be honest, you can't complain. He's going straight after a title, you know. If he would have been one of my favorite fighters, I would have want him to like gradually get up in there, you know, fight a older, like a Randall Bailey, test the waters out, you know what I mean? So look, he's getting there with a young champion coming off a title defense. He's a bit of a wild guy, this Horn.
What do you think about the fight being in Las Vegas instead of Australia?
I mean, well, they're setting it up because they know it's like, yo, why would we give Crawford that international experience? He's never going to fight in Australia again.
And even though, you know, Cochran's only, Horn is only about an inch taller than not even that much of a difference. Terence actually has the reach advantage. You know,
I think Terence Crawford
much bigger.
Again, Terence Crawford should win this easily. If anyone's picking Jeff Horn, I think you're doing it purely off of emotion.
Yeah, no, as a skilled fighter, Terence gets
the guys that are going to give Terence issue isn't Jeff Horn. It's Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, Earl Spence. It's those guys.
Yeah, I mean, I like Terrence's resume. It's difficult for me to pick against something like that, but I am, like I said, you know, I want to see him there. I talked to him the other day in New York, and he's excited for this division, you know, and the trainer. They are ready to show what they got. According to Terence and his trainer, because his trainer wanted to hold him down as long as possible, but Terence has been dying to go to 47. He's been dying to go to 47. They think he's going to fill out well. Speaking of filling out well, Tyson Fury sure is round, but he's got to get in shape in order to get this Dillian Whyte fight or any fight in the heavyweight division. But it is looking like he's targeting 2018 for sure. He said a lot of things on social media in the past, but at least as of late, those things are starting to come to fruition. So do you see a early first quarter ring return?
Nah.
Fury.
I don't see it early.
First half of the year, 100%. Not first quarter. I don't see that.
September.
I mean, let's be honest. He's a professional athlete with a professional camp behind him. He can lose the weight, unlike somebody else on this panel. So
shots.
So I think the weight's not an issue really, as much as some people say. It's the dedication. It's the mental issues, so to speak. That is what I'm more concerned about than the actual just pure weight.
Yeah, I still think it's gonna take.
What does Larry even mean? What does Crawford's resume have to do with a Hearn fight? Because he's fighting Hearn, and I like his resume over Hearn's. I like the people he's fought, the adversity he's been through, the circumstances he's placed in.
You realize Larry's gonna come back with the Pacquiao win, right?
Look, I don't really, that Pacquiao win.
You don't count it. I know.
If he keeps winning, I'll change my opinion.
Yes. Have you even watched the fight since we watched it live?
What, Pacquiao?
Yeah, that Pacquiao fight.
God, no.
No.
I think you should watch that again.
No, thank you.
Hater. Where's the hater city?
We have an on-demand show that we got to do. I have a conference call early morning with Sam Gilly. Shout out to Sam. We're gonna come, hammer out some ideas. He's got an on-demand show he wants to do. So first quarter, you guys are saying first quarter. I guess we'll go ahead.
Not first quarter, first half. And I think the Dillian Whyte matchup, which Eddie Hearn is bringing up, is a fantastic matchup. Dillian Whyte isn't really the biggest power puncher in terms of pure punch, like pure power per punch. And he's also technically flawed in enough ways where Tyson Fury should be able to outbox him, should be able to get the win.
Yeah, definitely Fury's a better boxer in my opinion too. He's Dillian Whyte just manages to get himself into brawls, and I don't think that's gonna work out with a boxer puncher like Tyson.
Any other headlines you want to mention? Headlines today, Matthew.
Talk about your mans.
Which mans?
Javier Fortuna getting that title shot against my man's Robert Easter Jr.
Yeah, man.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yes. Remember, it was supposed to be him and Garcia. Remember, I got that tip long time ago.
Fortuna and Garcia.
I released it on Patreon. So that goes to show that tip was pretty true because, obviously Mikey didn't take the Easter fight, so that opened him up. And Mikey said he didn't want meaningless fights. And I think that, just fighting Fortuna meant nothing, whereas, Lipinets at least is a title. But, wow, Easter versus Fortuna.
Your man.
Interesting. You know why? Because of the style matchups. Easter's more, he's down the middle.
Yes.
Fortuna's wider. So I see Easter being able to win this easy. He's down the middle. He's taller, longer. But he gives up his height, and he gets hit a lot. And Fortuna has pop, man. If anybody's seen the Luis Rosa versus Yandel Evans fight on Showbox a couple of weeks ago from, Cleveland, Fortuna knocked out that kid, Yandel, and a few others. He had a good fight with Omar Douglas. So, man, that is a good fight. Wow, Fortuna in a big one here. This is nervous.
I'm excited for that matchup. Should be entertaining.
I'm nervous. Wow. The thing is, man, it's Easter, right? Fortuna's like 5.5 hours away from me, bro. See, we were talking miles today, me and Doomy. Look at that.
Yeah, man. Drive down there is like what? How many more?
I mean, it's further than going to DC, in terms of hours and shit. But it's got to be at least 250 miles.
A couple of the news or headlines today or this week: Teddy Atlas being fully removed from all live boxing events going forward. He will stay with ESPN as an interviewer. So when you saw that one clip of in the Loma Rigo fight where he was at Loma's house interviewing him, he's going to continue to do stuff like that allegedly, but he has been taken off of all live sporting events.
I wonder what it was. Did he have like a
No, they gave the reasons. They gave the reasons. It was at least the Los Angeles Times and Les Pugmire, who I truly trust in a lot of ways. Yeah, he's one of the most credible reporters in the game. He alleged, or at least said, that it was due to Teddy's rant about the judges' scorecards for Manny Pacquiao versus Jeff Horn, and the way he treated Mark Kriegel on the telecast for, what was that? Was that Terence Crawford, Julius Ndongo?
What did he say to Kriegel?
Question his credentials to be on the telecast, stuff like that.
What did he say, though? What did he say?
I forget the exact words, but that's what is alleged to be the reasons as to why they decided to take him off. Timothy Bradley and Mark Kriegel will now take that spot in a three-man booth with Tessitore.
Horrible, horrible, horrible. Tessitore.
I love Tessitore.
We don't need him.
What?
Bradley, we don't need him. Yeah.
It's perfect.
Unfortunately, Bradley is a good guy, and this sounds bad, but we don't need him. They don't do a good job. It's not a good play-by-play. There's no energy. It's no good. It's no good. Tessitore has always been Teddy's wingman. He should have walked with Teddy. You know what I'm saying? Where's the fucking Friends contract at? You know, and I mean the sitcom at, you know, like what the fuck is going on? He should have walked with Teddy. Teddy, you know, Teddy is my version of Howard Stern, Charlemagne the God, and Teddy Atlas. Like these people need to exist, and it's unfair. You need people to be honest, whether you don't believe their honest opinion or not, but at least you get that raw naturalness live on television. Now you're gonna have all these cookie cutter motherfuckers doing a horrible job because none of them know boxing. Tim knows boxing, but he's not confident behind the mic. He's slow as hell. He's slow to call the action. You know what I'm saying? It's they're gonna get better, obviously. You know what I mean? So listen, if Kriegel listens, I'm not shitting on you. I'm just saying, you know, kicking off Atlas is crazy.
Yeah.
And comparing, let's say, Timothy Bradley to an Andre Ward, both guys a little bit bland in personality. The way Andre Ward delivers technique and talks about it and discusses it is on so much more of a higher level.
But he's not a yes man either. Ward wasn't letting Roy Jones and Jim Lampley, I mean, not Roy Jones, but Kellerman and Lampley tell him what he was watching. Bradley lets people tell him what he's watching. It's like, come on, bro, step it up, man. You the fighter right now. Austin Trout, Steve Cunningham, Antonio Tarver, they all do better jobs than Bradley. I'm just being honest.
And Bradley's just coming on. And he's just coming on, though, right?
No, he's not. No, he's not. He's just coming on the main stage. He's been doing Top Rank Lives forever, ever since he got that concussion. They shook his ass up, put him behind the mic. Damn, that sounded bad. After he got shook up, he got behind the mic.
Shook his ass up.
I mean, with time he'll get better, but like you said, the main thing is here they're kicking Atlas off. Man, he brings so much emotion. They called him biased a lot of the times, you know what I'm saying? But you know, the guy knew what he was picking. He was picking Loma from the get. He told the public that, you know, this was gonna happen. It
happened.
They had it happen.
Right. Teddy was right. That's the best part. Teddy was right.
Exactly. They should feel shamed in what they did now. I mean, damn, there's no fucking union and shit.
Come on, man.
What?
I'm pretty sure Teddy was getting sick and tired of the stuff.
Teddy need to start his own shit. He need to come be a host on the Boxing Voice. We'll blow this shit up.
Yeah, Teddy, if you're listening, come to the Boxing Voice.
Teddy gonna look at me and Matt like, "What's your credentials?" All right, let's go on out to
one more piece of news. We don't even have to discuss it.
I just want news today, huh? Full of news?
Yeah, I'm full of it. Don't worry about it, Ness. Don't worry about it. The WBC has finished their internal investigation as to why Adonis Stevenson has been inactive against top competition.
Whatever. They gave him another pass, and your boy.
Let me finish, Ness.
From now on, we're calling your boy Mr. Step Aside.
Yo, why is he my boy? Anyways.
You're the only one was always pitch. I think you and this other kid from China always pitching the fucking flag for him. Alvarez, he's the #1 contender.
No, Alvarez was definitely top 10. He's still top 10.
Yo, that dude's took more money than Victor Postal.
Anyways, the WBC has finished their investigation into their own decisions as to why Adonis Stevenson has been inactive. and they have allowed him to continue with this fight with Badu Jack. So that is official, I believe.
Yo, the point is they are letting him get another step aside. Alvarez is another, taker of that money, and Badu Jack is now going to be a 2-time champion if he can win, because even though Adonis is old and, inactive, he's still nasty with the left-hand counter, B. Quick super chat love from Andre, pound for pound supporter 2016 at our Boxing Voice Appreciation Night. He says, America's super sensitive and ESPN is scared of the truth. Stephen A working instead of Teddy, shaking my head. Hashtag Teddy on TBV. Imagine that. That would be dope. But look, the thing is, I even like Stephen A, because again, Stephen A right there with the Charlie Maines and the Harvard Sterns and the Teddy Atlases, people that voice their opinion a little more animated. That's what I need. Maybe everyday America doesn't need that. I need someone like me that yells at me. I'm a yeller. Yell at me.
I wasn't the biggest fan of when Stephen A and Teddy Atlas were talking, because that to me just felt like two guys just yelling at each other. But I agree with the point about the energy, some liveliness on the telecast. You need that. You need people that are passionate about the sport to call the sport.
Let's go, champ. Why you think fucking Cannon Briggs made a comeback? Because he was able to keep energy and excite people, motivate them, and they like, yeah, I feel it, champ. Yeah, let's go, champ. Now everybody's let's go, champ. This dude was about to get a title shot without fighting. He was signed up to fight Fresno Kendo off of a campaign, let's go, champ. He never actually had a fight. They just threw him in that fight, and he tested positive. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, social media is motherfucking powerful. Nonito Donaire just made a fight with Carl Frampton. That shit is official, right? Is that official?
Not official, I believe. I think they're just in.
I heard it was official. Listen, if that gets official, social media is powerful. Nonito was just like, yo, fams, we never got to do it. Let's do it.
Let me fight.
Contact my peoples. And it happened. That was sweet. Even though for Frampton, it's easy. Recognizable name, older guy. He should be able to knock him out if he's nice, but Frampton is small. And Nonito, last thing to go on people is power. He might knock out Frampton, because Frampton's not been looking good. His last fight, he looked like, not like Carl.
Asua. Trav.
Still a good boxer.
Oh, was that your
Spanish? That was my really bad Spanglish. Don't worry about it.
Holy shit, that was Spanglish.
Spanglish. Don't worry about it.
Yo, let's go out to the sponsors. Shout out to Abe.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
Really quick, want to remind you guys of the number 14255695241. Press 1 time to voice your opinion here on the Voice of the People hotline. We are taking international calls or just any calls using Skype. Add Nestor Gibbs, that's NESTORGIBBS, to add to the conversation. We must be friends. So send me. Yes, Matt?
And ANMCreditRepair.com. Go there, use our promo code, the Boxing Voice, and get your credit right. If you want your shit in the 700s, you've been dealing with some stuff, with the recession in 2008. It's hit all of us. It has. Go to ANMCreditRepair.com. Use the promo code, the Boxing Voice, and they're gonna get you all straight, all right. Don't worry about it.
And remember that you guys, for those that are skeptical and they're like, oh, Ness is lying, you know what I mean? Yo, today we did a vlog actually at the dealer. I ain't buy shit, but at least that them 700s is real homes, high 700s, and they was respecting the shit out the kid at the dealer, man. I can't wait for overtime on that. Yo, they had to get the big guns for Ness, because I came in with the high credit score, and obviously I went through my credit union, right? So I had to check. It was like, yo, I got the check. You either want to sell me the car at what I want, or you ain't getting my people. You know what I'm saying? So
they brought in the sales manager.
Yeah, they brought in the sales manager. They brought the big guns and shit. Yo, but it was cool. I vlogged as much as I could. I totally dropped the ball on the test drive. I should have brought my little suction thing. And
it was freezing cold, though.
It was freezing, though. We were not prepared for how cold it was here in New Jersey. I'm so hoping that we get millions of patrons so that I can move to California with Matt, because it is freezing out here. Like, freezing.
Or with the recent ruling with the FCC and net neutrality, you know, internet's going to be changing in the next year. Just so everyone doesn't, if everyone doesn't know, the internet's going to be changing a lot. So if you want to keep, you know, help the channel stay alive through this process and this transition for the internet, definitely head over to patreon.com/theboxingvoice.
I thought they were voting on that in 3 days.
No, vote happened today. It is reversed. Net neutrality regulations are reversed in the U.S. and they might have an effect overseas. I was doing some research on this, everyone. Depending who your internet service provider is, it could affect you overseas, just so you know.
And for those of us who are not, you know, savvy to these terminologies, what is that exactly?
Net neutrality was basically regulations in order for the internet to have equal speed and access. So it's a way where now companies can now have to, because of the way the structures work, change internet speed and access to websites. So now YouTube could potentially be a subscription-based platform where you have to pay $20 just to have access to YouTube. Twitter may end up being like that. Instagram may end up being like that. A lot of these...
I don't think those things will actually happen, though, because people will abandon it a lot
with the quickness.
Those companies all I just mentioned have had concerns about this themselves.
Well, I'm sure, but...
So again, just
the consumer will abandon.
We don't know what's going to happen in this transition. So if you want to help keep the lights on with everything, head over to patreon.com/theboxingvoice and help be our sort of shareholders for the company.
It's really what you are. At the end of the day, even though, you know, we feel like we are our own boss, at the end of the day, you know, our patrons and our super chatters are our boss. Can you press number 1, please, honey? Let me get on out to these callers. We'll go out to first one here, last one to leave. I probably ruined his little catchphrase, but, you know, that's what I do around here, ruin shit.
Just like the king is what I mean. The king is what I mean. My man, get a cup and put some change inside your hand. Now hold up. Let's make this official. Everybody that's agreeing.
Did you not click on him?
Call Matt, drop the ball.
You didn't click on him. I'm sorry. I mean, King Amin.
Yo.
What up?
Fellas, good show. Ness, you didn't kill it. Nailed it. Look, I'm listening and you know, I'm doing some research. I'm looking at you know, Mikey Garcia. They're talking about you know, Sergey Lipinets. Lipinets, he really didn't beat anybody. You guys are right. The last pride, but he did have kind of like a showdown, if you will. I don't know if y'all remember when he fought the Wolf out of Virgil Hunter's camp. And I'm not saying that guy was, you know, 1,000% on his way to a championship, but he was a lot of hype. You know, Virgil was behind him, and even Fox Sports. I remember watching it. The way they called it, they were big on him. And Lipinets kind of scored the upset. He didn't do too well in his last fight, in terms of looking the part, so to speak. But I think that's a good test for Mikey at 140. To put him in there against anybody else, you know, as all the presumption is he's going to steamroll him. Yeah, he washed Broner, so that's a good indication. But sometimes you get a guy like I think Matt might have said it, like he reminds you of Provodnikov, and he could come in there and be a spoiler. I don't know, man. Billy Joe Saunders, this fight this weekend. I don't know. Did you guys do your picks yet, or no? You ain't really get it.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you. I mean, who's your pick on that bout for this weekend?
Man, in light of you know, we've been eating a lot of crow between Cotto and fucking what's this last upset we just saw on Rigo. So listen, man, I think I'm gonna go with Lemieux. I'm just gonna grab my nuts and go with Lemieux, man. Lemieux's been in there with Triple G. He's been in there with has he been in there with Curtis Stevens, Lemieux?
What was the question?
Has he been there with Curtis Stevens? Lemieux
knocked out Curtis Stevens.
Yeah.
In his last fight.
He knocked him out really bad too.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, Yeah, and that's what I thought. I'm counting on. I don't think Billy Joe, even though he's a great boxer, I don't think he has what it takes to outbox Lemieux. I think Lemieux's power will be the equalizer. Quick shout out to Info Joe. Shout out to Larry in the Bay. Shout out to Marcus from DC. I ain't heard from Tita from Toronto in a minute, but that's my call, fellas. Great show.
All right, thanks, Amin. So we got Amin down for David Lemieux. Sort of what you've been saying, Matt. It's that power, and is he going to be able to hold up? Billy Joe begs to differ. He says that his iron chin will be all right.
Agree. You think that David Lemieux can deal with the shots of Billy Joe Saunders and walk through it and get the W, or you think Billy Joe Saunders outboxes David Lemieux? Those are the two paths to victory, it seems.
We're going out to the new Boomerang Stainless in the D.
Straight to the point for those with attention deficit. I'm so repetitive, so I gotta repeat. Stainless from the streets to the D. I'm coming with that heat. All you need to know about me, I'm coming with that heat.
Yo, what up, though? TBV for life, man. Like I said, I'm just trying to get that boomerang so I give y'all $5 extra.
Stainless.
Doomsday, what's up?
Going on, my brother?
And Matt, the Hipster Hunter, what's up?
What up, man?
And Nestor Gibbs, you know what I'm saying? The one and only, man. What's up?
Another day, another podcast,
man, y'all gave
brother.
me a lot more. Man, I feel y'all. You know what I mean? It is always thank y'all for that, because y'all keep the ball rolling, man. I mean, I see everybody else out there doing their thing, but y'all definitely keep it moving. I mean, I don't know how the fuck y'all be in the UK, Australia. I'm surprised I ain't got correspondents in China and shit right now, because I heard they second or third largest as far as boxing fans right now. I'm sure that's due to their population more than anything else, but y'all keep the ball rolling, and I appreciate that. So Garcia not fighting Easter, it turns out. I'm sad to hear that. But I do think, as Amin just said, that's probably the best competition for Garcia at 140, and vice versa for Lipinets. I mean, he has to step up, but I mean, if the kid thinks he got it, then who's going to tell him otherwise? You know what I'm saying? If anything else, you know what I'm saying? That Mayweather era is over with. You know what I'm saying? That loss ain't really meaning nothing if you come back from it. And if Lipinets can learn something from a defeat from Mikey Garcia, you know what I'm saying, under McGirt, then shit, I say why not take the fight? As far as the Adonis Stevenson that you just said, I need him to. That's good to hear that he has to fight Badu Jack, or that he's going to fight Badu Jack, because I need that man to stop playing with that belt. I mean, I do respect that he was one of the last ones too. There's under the late Emmanuel Stewart, being from Detroit myself. You know what I'm saying? Crunk Jill. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just tired of that, man. I know Scorsese over in China, what the fuck he's saying. Man. You know what I'm saying? But he about the only one who's saying that. And there's no disrespect to Adonis Stevenson as a fighter, but we living in 2017. We've had a great year of boxing, and what do we get from Adonis Stevenson? A rematch of a fight that he already beat the guy in. So, let's see some real shit. As far as the fight this weekend, I am excited to see Billy Joe Saunders, because I haven't really seen him in a full fight that wasn't on YouTube and live. So I like to see what he possesses. But David Lemieux is the toughest test that he could get in a 160-pound division right now, other than Daniel Jacobs. I give David Lemieux a lot more respect than Canelo in a 160-pound division. You know what I'm saying? I give him a lot more respect than the Charlos, because he's been there so long. And I mean, in the Stevens fight, we saw pretty much the knockout of the year. And then in the second fight that he had, we saw him go 12 rounds, so we know he's got the stamina. And when he realized he wasn't gonna knock dude out, he started boxing even more. It still had that power behind him. So I don't think that Saunders can handle that for 12 rounds, let alone 10. So I'm going with David Lemieux.
David Lemieux.
I guess I'll just push one to chime back in when I'm ready.
Yes, sir.
Do I just push one when I'm ready to?
Press 1 right now, off the list, and then press 1 again when you want to get back on the list.
Yep. Just take yourself off cue, and when we see you back up, we know you're ready for more. But thank you as always, Stainless, for calling in. Great takes. Obviously, thank you for upgrading your pledge on Patreon and supporting the movement, especially after Matt let everybody know about this net neutrality bull crap.
Hold up, son. Word. Yeah. To all the killers and $100, I got you stuck off the realness. We be the infamous, you heard of us. Official Queensbridge murderers.
Yeah, what's going on, man? Some y'all fellas on the panel. What's going on, Matt? Everybody. Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, it's Lemieux. If Billy Sanders to keep that jab the same way Golovkin did in his face, but I don't know if he can do that. I don't know if his jab is hard enough to keep Lemieux off his ass. So I'm going with Lemieux for a knockout, like the 8th or 9th round. Like, you know what I'm saying? The mid rounds of the boxing match. I'm going with Lemieux knockout. Because I don't think Sanders can keep that hit hard enough to keep him off his ass. And that's a good look. And that's a good look for Mikey. I had a question. Do Mikey keep his belt at 135, or he gonna vacate at 135 and just go to 140? Keep it at 140, or he could just go.
Hell no, he a BC champion, man. They ain't gonna take that belt from him. They want him to be a champion. They want to be every part of everything he do.
Okay, so he'll go back and forth because he can make 135 too. So that's a good look for Mike in San Antonio. He's gonna sell out there because the Latino arena and all that, San Antonio 11 and all that. But that's a good look. That's what I got right now.
All right, QB.
Got you calling in.
Got you down for David Lemieux.
QB. He got Lemieux.
In Richmond, California.
Matt, quick, wait.
Whoa. Okay, whoa. This is new. It's like reverse positions.
We mentioned the San Antonio thing. I mean, we did, but it was kind of light. So just saying.
First 3 picks
Mikey versus Lipinets in San Antonio, a travel fight. Would you go to Texas for that?
Oh, I would 100% go to Texas for a Mikey fight. 100%.
But you said for a Mikey fight, so it doesn't matter that he's fighting who he's fighting?
Yeah, I think that'd be a fun atmosphere in Texas.
Word.
Just because of that Hispanic market, it will be. Just like I've seen a Canelo fight in Texas would be really cool. You know?
They remember the mariachi bands passing by while we were doing the show and
the Triple G Canelo fight. Yeah. You know, like I love that atmosphere, so I think that'd be cool.
San Antonio is a good spot too. They got the Riverwalk, so it's more touristy than like a Dallas.
But Dallas was fun.
Like
Dallas was fun.
Stadium, right?
True, but Dallas was fun. Shout out to Dallas.
All right, so let's go to Richmond. Donald, shout out to Donald, who also upgraded his pledge and now wants to take out some of these Border Wars guys.
What's going on, y'all?
What up, Donald?
What's going on? Hey, man, I called you, man. I was in LA, but you didn't answer your phone, man. I was trying to see what was up with you.
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
I'm a busy person. Sorry. Ness, I'm sorry. Didn't it?
What the fuck is that?
That's the duck down, Donald. He was ducking you. He knew you wanted some work.
Oh, you stupid. That thing about Teddy Atlas, yeah, it was because of the Pacquiao card, with how he acted there, and also the Fresno one for the Arthur Beterbiev one, because I was there at that fight, and they said he was really bad at that one. I think that one was like the straw that broke the camel's back, and that's what initially made them remove him. But I think Teddy Atlas is a strong personality. He brings the energy, like you said, and it's like, come on, keep him on there. Like, I enjoy hearing Teddy Atlas. I'm a screaming type of dude, too, so I enjoy that. And, like, Teddy Atlas is like that type of guy to where he's your coach, and you in a game, and you about to lose, and he screams at you, but he pumps you up to go out there and do what you need to do to get that win. You know, he's that guy, you know. But Lemieux and Sanders, you know what? I want to see Lemieux lay Saunders out like how he did Curtis Stevenson. For one, I don't like how he treated Willie Monroe. So I just really want to see him get slept because of that. And just the things of when I'm looking at it, when Lemieux was going for the knockout for that 12 with that last fight, I was looking at the fight saying, gosh, he's throwing some hard punches. He's going to fucking gas out. But he went to 12 throwing those hard punches. Do I think Saunders can take that for 12? I don't think so, because that guy he was fighting, I was like, fuck, he didn't get knocked out. You know, he fucked him up really good. So I don't think Saunders can take those kind of punches, and I don't think he has the kind of power to keep Lemieux off him, because, I mean, yeah, I don't think he has that kind of power. I think if Lemieux can get in there and walk through his punches and do that, what he did in the last fight, I think he gets Saunders out of there before 12. Adonis Stevenson, yeah, I think it's time for him to just. I think Badu Jack should just come in here and get that belt from him, and it would be crazy for him to lose to Badu Jack, because we'll be saying to ourselves, "Gosh, all this fucking time he's been fighting all these mediocre fighters, and then finally, when he finally fucking steps it up and fights Badu Jack, he fucking loses. No wonder why he wasn't trying to fight those type of level competition. You know, like there it is. So I can kind of see something like that happening. So definitely put me down for Lemieux on that one. You know.
All right.
You know, that's all I got for right now.
That's 4 picks for Lemieux, man.
Yo, you guys look like the minority right now.
Yeah. Maddie's pumped up from that Lomo pick.
Actually, I'm kind of worried that everyone's picking with me, because everyone called in and picked Rigo too, and we saw how that went. I was the lone person that picked Loma. It's nice being the lone person sometimes, picking someone. Trust me, this is the way boxing goes. It's unpredictable.
David Lemieux.
Santiaguito in LA. Santiago, what up?
Duck that work last night, Santiago.
Santiago.
Hey guys, what's up? I just finished doing 35 minutes in the sauna, and I'm just sitting here right now waiting to say my picks, because I have been looking forward to Saunders Lemieux for a while now. And basic point, I think Lemieux's going to do to Saunders what he did to Hassan and Dom. It's probably going to go to distance. I do think that Saunders' chin will hold up, but we're going to see a fight where Lemieux wins another title, and Saunders, I don't know where he goes from here. I mean, I honestly have a hard time thinking that he can outbox him. His last 2 fights have been fairly underwhelming, and I don't think he has what it takes to, you know, keep Lemieux off him for 12 straight rounds. The Mikey Garcia Sergey Lipinets fight, I'm excited for that. I would travel for that fight too. I'm a big Mikey fan. I've been a big Mikey supporter, and like Matt, if it's a Mikey fight, if I can make the trip, I'll definitely travel for it. And with Sergey, I think it's a great fight because it's a step-up fight for Sergey, but it's also a good indicator to see where Mikey stacks up in the 140-pound division if he decides to campaign there in between the 135 and 140. As for Adonis Stevenson, the WBC ruling, I look forward to seeing that fight, because
Santiago.
Adonis has been an afterthought for me.
Santiago. Whatever you're doing, stop doing it, because it sounds like you're juggling the phone as you're trying to talk.
Like a squishing.
Yeah, it sounds weird.
All right. So
Okay, we're gonna go back to you, Santiago. Get your shit together. Sonny.
Yo, I just want everybody to know Matt's his best friend.
I was about to say like, damn.
This is why Matt is official, though. You know, it's all you know, love, but not when it's work time. I love it.
Hey, Santiago, I'll just say this: go back on the tape and watch this on YouTube. And you're gonna see my face literally start like getting antsy with that call. Like I was getting tense. There were veins popping in my forehead because of the audio quality of there. So Sonny from the UK, who now lives in the US.
Sonny son.
What's going on, bro?
What up?
Hey, man, we appreciate you guys again. We always have to give our appreciation to you for your platform, for us to be on it. Hey, so I'm going to talk about my guys from England, Tyson Fury, Dillian Whyte, and Billy Joe Saunders and Lemieux. I think Billy Joe Saunders is very underestimated, only because his last couple of fights haven't been that great. But I think Dominic Ingle has got a good plan. I think Billy Joe Saunders fights very well on the back foot. And I think if Lemieux gets the fight in the pocket, then, we can look on Lemieux knocking Billy Joe Saunders out. But for the most of it, I think Dominic Ingle has kind of like worked with Billy Joe Saunders to become a 12-round fighter. So if he works on the back foot, I think that Billy Joe Saunders has got the fight. And as far as Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte, I think Tyson Fury needs a tune-up. Don't underestimate the Gypsy King. He came and did something that nobody's ever seen. He beat Klitschko better than Joshua beat Klitschko. So let's just see what he brings to the table. But apart from that, thank you guys, and we're listening to the show.
Sonny, don't feel rushed. The bell was an accident.
Oh, I already muted him because he said goodbye.
All right.
Going back to Santiago. Hope
Back to Santiago.
So Sonny, I guess Sonny was rooting for Billy Joe then, right?
He picked Billy Joe.
All right, we got Sonny down for Billy Joe Saunders. First pick, man.
Santiago, are you there?
I picked Billy Joe.
Oh no, we're not counting ours in the listeners list.
Okay.
Okay, do you guys hear anything in the background?
No, it's so much better. So much better.
All right, then. So I believe I was with Mikey Garcia, Sergey Lipinets breakdown.
I think it's bad, Santiago. It was bad.
He's in a windstorm.
Yeah, that was bad. I'm sorry, Santiago.
Marcus and DC.
2016 Caller of the Year.
Yo, what's good, y'all? Hey, Billy Joe Saunders holding that title hostage comes to the end on Saturday, man. David Lemieux took that man out and down. Body shots, left hooks, everything. You already know what it is. Mikey Garcia, man, we don't even got to talk about it. You already know what it is. I told you there's only a couple of elite dudes out there. He's one of them. Sergey Lipinets is going to get his ass destroyed. All right, we're going to be looking forward to hopefully Mikey and Terence Crawford at some point. I don't think the Mikey and Lomachenko fight happens. I think he thinks Mikey's a little too big for him. I think he's spoken on that. As far as that, you know what I'm saying? There was no quote to be 8 from Lomachenko versus Rigondeaux, because I told y'all there's a difference in that matrix. That 8 pounds is a big difference, and that jab wasn't no good for Rigondeaux. Check this out, man. Billy Joe Saunders is going to go into oblivion. He's going to wind up drinking, drugging, doing some shit out there. He's like Tyson Fury after he lose, man, to Lemieux. It's not that I think Lemieux is a world beater, but he beats all of them type of dudes. He beats all the hot power end-downs. He beats those type of dudes all day. And who is Badu Jack fighting?
Badu Jack is fighting Adonis.
He fighting who?
Adonis Stevenson.
Oh yeah. All right, look. This is what I think about this one right here. Badu Jack, when he fought James again, he had been cramming to make 168 for a while. I think we saw that when how he beat the shit out of DeGale, knocked the teeth out of his mouth and all type of shit. So the real question gonna be is if Badu Jack can take or nullify Superman Stevens' punch, because we know if you hit Jack, he'll go because he's gone before. But you know what I'm saying, if he can nullify other fighters that we don't be able to deal with Superman's punch, or at least nullify it, this didn't work. So we'll find out if both of them are the truth for real, and find out what's really happening. Because I think Bitter BM got something for both of them that they don't want. And who's the other fighter fighting?
That's it. Hearn and Crawford we talked about.
Yeah, I fuck them. I fuck with Crawford, but Hearn, he's some garbage. He's another dude that just hold the title. You know what I'm saying? He just had the title right now to Bob figure out what he wants and who he wants to do with it. Like I said, he's trying to get either Lomachenko or Crawford in the ring with Pacquiao so he can pass on some pay-per-view aspect. You know what I'm saying? Even though he got the contract with ESPN, he really is trying to get some pay-per-view money, and he can't do that until he gets one of those two dudes in the ring with Pacquiao. That's just how Bob rolls. So I got Lemieux in stoppage. I think Superman Stevens beats Badu Jack. I don't know why. I just got a feeling. That's it, man. DC, man. I'm up in Pittsburgh right now, man. I'm in Pittsburgh. I'm in Bruce's hometown, man. Just got here, cold as a brick in his fist. DC in the building, everywhere we go. Boxing Voice, I'm out.
Marcus, thanks for calling in. Let's go out to Scorsese. Talk to us.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Mikey Garcia, man, one of the most overrated resumes in boxing, and Aaron Styles a victory, in my opinion. Quit versus Alito. Now he continues this shit. Get credit for Adrian Broner, man. Adrian Broner a dickhead, man. Nobody should get credit for no shit like that. People complain about, other fighters is hungry, can punch at the weight, getting fights, but Adrian Broner, you want to put Mikey Garcia pound for pound number 3. What the fuck ever, man. 140, he should beat Lipinets. 4-time champion, I guess. It's damn near as meaningless as Adrian Broner's. Broner beat Malignaggi. I would say Garcia best win is Salido, and like I said, he quit. At least Broner finished the damn fight. So, two, in my opinion, those two that fought earlier this year, two meaningless, 3 or 4 division champions. Simple as that. Had a chance to unify, whatever. I don't know why it fell apart. I don't know what Matt talking about. Lipinets need to be fostered and put in foster care and get his hair combed and teeth brushed every damn morning. The boy got to fight. You tell Al Heyman, no, you might not get a damn date. You got lineal champions out here barely getting dates. So what the fuck is he to tell somebody no? Badu Jack, Adonis Stevenson, Nestor, when that fight go off and you do your show, you make sure you come to me first, because then we're going to talk about a real damn fight. We're going to talk about some real shit we saw. I don't care who win. I just want to see some action. I respect both of them. Both of them held their division down, did their damn thing, no matter what you say. 4 years running lineal champion. You name another motherfucker doing that today. Then nobody comes. He's your lineal champion, and Badu Jack should be your lineal champion at 168. And I'm favoring Badu Jack, but it could all change with one punch. And that's how much time I got left, because it might not be my call.
So who you are? What is your pick?
1 minute and 3 seconds.
For Billy Joe and David Lemieux.
I ain't picking no David Lemieux. That boy name rhyme with lose. He's a loser. That's all he's ever been. Every level he has lost. Y'all need to put some respect on Billy. Oh my fucking God. That boy had a better resume than David Lemieux before he ever touched the title. Beat Chris Eubank Jr., who out here might win a damn 68 tournament. Beat Andy Lemieux. The boy might have a better win than Mikey Garcia, but y'all suck him off all the goddamn time. Man, Billy Joe gonna go over there and slap the shit out of David Lemieux. Non-accurate, slow-footed, slow-handed, no defense having ass. That little fucking mohawk gonna be slapping all around the ring. Look, man, don't ever put him back on my TV. That's all I'm saying. Billy Joe all day.
David Lemieux is a top 5 middleweight. It's weird that you don't want to see a top 5 fighter on TV.
Spazzed on his little mohawk.
This little mohawk's gonna be slapping all around.
Oh my goodness. Hey, Ness, call me when Adonis Stevenson Badu Jack happens, okay? Because I got some real shit to say.
Yo, he's been riding for both of those guys, so it must be a tough one.
You notice how you change his tone?
I think
it was Adonis Stevenson's pound for pound number 1. Now it's like, I really don't care who wins, I like both guys.
Yeah, that's why they both his guys are matched up against each other, man. Shout out to Badu. That's a big fight for Badu. 619. Let's see if he's not going to take on Sergey either, or whoever HBO. 619-736, 619-736. First time caller.
Hello, y'all hear me?
We hear you.
Yeah, that's Ali from Dago. I'm calling from work. So fuck my boss, but I'm about to get off real quick. But mark me down for Billy Ho to outbox David Lemieux. And that's my call, boxing boy.
All right, Ali.
On the check in from work, man. We love those, man. Putting it in.
Stainless.
Going to stainless.
Off that boomerang status.
Only on the patron.
Talk about that boomerang. Right? So, man, I almost forgot about that Teddy Atlas shit. I don't even know how to feel about that. Like, I do agree, like, because he's gotten a little more animated. You know what I'm saying? And now that ESPN wasn't just showing like the Friday night fights from PBC, like, and it's like some championship fights that you getting 1 million, 2 million plus viewers from. Unless you got somebody like when they had Ward on there, what was that for the Crawford undisputed championship? Like Ward kept him so balanced. Like Ward is the guy that they need on that telecast with Teddy Atlas, because he's, he like Info Joe, he like water. You know what I'm saying? Like, because Teddy Atlas is fire, man, straight up. So you can't have a Stephen A. Smith, who's fired himself, or Tim Bradley, who's just going. I think we all literally watched Teddy Atlas pull Tim Bradley to his side when it came to the Pacquiao card, and he, I think he was a little upset in the end because everybody was trying to pull him which way on it. Teddy's a strong personality, and you need a strong personality to go with that. To speak on the Jeff Horn fight, what was his name? Corcoran. Like, the dude was. ESPN even said the dude only knocked out, like, he only beat 3 people who were undefeated, and his resume other than that, like the guys that he fought collectively didn't have over 50 wins. And you talk about 13 or 14 other people. So the fact that fight went that long, and I mean, it were times in there when Corcoran with those wild punches was still giving Jeff Horn all that he could handle with shots to the body and to the head. I mean, as you talk about food, man, like, we all know Terence is hungry. So, I want to congratulate Terence in advance. I hope that y'all can get some interviews with Brian McIntyre, because he's the animated one. That's something else I wanted to discuss, but I didn't really get a chance to. What did y'all think of Terence Crawford on the Rigondeaux Lomachenko interview? Like, you could barely hear him when Stephen A. Smith was talking to him, and he gave that same old, whoever my promoters, put me up to fight. My job is to fight. Like, is that just what we're gonna get out of Bud Crawford, or?
Yep. He's gonna be one of those guys that says, "I do my talking with my fists or in the ring." That's his thing.
Because Errol says the same thing, but I saw him on Sway in the Morning again talking about the Peterson fight when he was up there in New York. You know what I'm saying? And you could see a lot more animation out of, like, Errol's a lot more laid back with it now, like, even when he was at the Charlo Luba fight, and him and Thurman kept running each other everywhere. Like, he kept it, diplomatic, but you could see the fire in the dude. Like, you could see him ascending to that, okay, I got to give just a little bit more, even with his one-liners, like, they don't want no smoke, you know what I'm saying? Like he keeps it coming, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, that's something though. Like, Terence, like, you could barely hear him. Like even if that's gonna be your personality, you at least need to make yourself heard. You know what I'm saying? So I know that y'all gonna run into him again. So maybe I can tell him Stainless said, you know what I'm saying? Because it just need to happen. Now, I got to use the rest of my little card to say what I always say, man. Please make sure that you push the thumbs up and share this in every episode of the Boxing Voice podcast. If you ain't on Patreon, get on Patreon. You know what I'm saying? The Boxing Guys made me a boomerang caller, you know what I'm saying? Because somehow I ended up deleting my ringer status. I don't even know how the fuck I did that. And that set me up like, yo, did you know this happened? And I went in there and ended up with the boomerang. It was only one remaining. It was remaining for me. You know what I'm saying? So upgrade, you know what I'm saying? $1 cool. A cup of coffee is better, but you know what I'm saying? Go and upgrade, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't want nobody telling us how to do what we do. That's why we already on the Boxing Voice, because, you know what I'm saying, here we get a voice. So, you know what I'm saying, especially if everything I was talking about with this neutralism or whatever of the internet is going down like it's supposed to go down, and we definitely need to make sure that we keep our forum alive, because we all know that boxing has no real platform, you know, so this is our platform. And even better, this is a platform that gives us a voice. So, you know what I'm saying, please make sure you push the thumbs up and share this in every episode. So, the Boxing Voice for life, man. Peace.
Stainless, thanks for calling in. As always, we're going out to Iron Sal. What up?
Yeah, what's up, fellas? I'm gonna make this one kind of quick. Let me get in there. I'm gonna pick Lemieux, man. I've never really been a big fan of Billy Joe. I just kind of feel he's always kind of like eggshelled around the big boys on top of the division. I remember there was a point where he was clearly ducking Golovkin, and I mean that audio leaked of him even talking to Chris Payton Jr. saying that Golovkin would have whooped his ass and his ass at the same time in the same night. I think that's a coward. But then he seen Golovkin like degrading, you know what I mean, going not looking as good as he used to, and then all of a sudden he gained balls and shit. I've never really been a fan of Billy Joe. He can potentially outbox Lemieux, but I'm rooting for Lemieux. Lemieux still has really good power. I mean, you got to see who he got beat with. He got beat, I know, earlier in his career, but I mean, he changed it around. He still got really good power, so I'm picking Lemieux. The Mikey Garcia fight, I think it's a good fight. I mean, you guys already know me. I'm a big Mikey fan, so I'm excited to see that. What were some other subjects on the thing, man? I just tuned in, my bad.
Crawford, Hearn in Vegas. Fortuna versus Easter. What else?
Well, we got Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury versus Badu
and Adonis Stevenson.
Okay. Did you guys? Is that fight made, or are they talking about it?
It looks like it's made, right, Matt?
It's made. They were just waiting on this whole WBC investigation.
I wonder where they're gonna do it. It's probably gonna be Vegas because Badu's from Vegas with a Floyd fight. You know, he's a Floyd fighter, high profile fight.
Vegas, New York, or Canada would be the 3 locations probably.
I wonder if New York buys that.
Is possible? Is that Badu's first fight going up, right?
No, second.
Fought Nathan Cleverly on the Mayweather-McGregor undercard.
Oh yeah. You're right. I feel, I mean, that's props to him for taking that challenge. But I mean, off the top of the head, I feel like Adonis is probably gonna be a little too much because Badu tends to, like, when he starts to scrap, he'll scrap back. But I mean, with Adonis is that guy that one punch can change everything. You know, that left can put anybody down. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I feel like the only people that can really beat Adonis are, you know what I mean, boxers. You know what I mean? Like, if Ward would have fought Adonis, I feel like Ward would have just outboxed him, you know? So I feel that Adonis is going to take that fight if it does happen. But, yeah, I'm going to wrap this one up, man. I got stuff to do. But anyways, real quick, just like Stainless said, man, up on Patreon. You know, there's a lot of things going on. Border Wars, Nestor's blog, and hop on, man. I'm gonna have a new one coming up. I'm going up north, and I'm gonna vlog that too. So if you guys want to see your boy, my daily life, my training camp and all that, my weight loss, hop on, man. That's my call.
Hey Sal, man, you need to tag Doomsday in that vlog, B. so he could follow it. He needs to hop on. 626-482-626. Oh shit, sorry, 626. It's not your fault. I mean, it's not your go. It's Lionel from Vegas. Lionel, I'm sorry.
Where's the guns, Ness? Where's the guns?
Hit him with it, man. Hit him.
That sounds bad.
What?
I don't know how it sounds to everyone else. It sounds so distorted to me.
Mine or yours?
Yours.
Mine just sounds different.
It's kind of crispy, if you ask
Yours
me.
is like an old school cannon bomb from like.
Exactly. That's how you needed that, homie.
He hit you with the Dirty Harry.
Lionel from Vegas. What up?
He still dies every time he reloads that shit. They shoot him.
Lionel from Vegas.
All night long, all night, all night. Lionel, what up?
What's up?
What up, B? Damn, I had to sing to bring him out. Bring him out.
Can you hear me?
Bro, we've been hearing you for a while. We waiting for you to really give us an entire sentence there.
Oh, man, I'm going to touch on just a few things, man. Shouts out to Wilder, man. Let's make it do what it do. Beat Ortiz up and get Joshua out of there. Adonis, let me touch that. I really think Adonis ain't the truth to me. He comes out here and there. He's and I respect anybody that gets into the ring, but he's getting sheltered. Come on now. They got him on the shelf. They bring him out once a year. You need to fight somebody for real, man. Ward would have put him down. Ward's the truth. But let's not get it twisted. Ward had an interview a while back, and he made it clear anything's possible. I hope my man come back, man, and make it do what it do, man. But other than that, you guys, I love your show. You're doing a wonderful job, man. And that Wilder fight with the Burn, Wilder's the truth, man. So Joshua need to quit playing. I feel like
there's so much money involved with everything in boxing, but I feel like if these fighters want to fight, let's just make it happen. And Garcia, let me touch that. Garcia, I think he's the truth too, man. I just think I would like to see him fight better competition, but he's not actually fighting bums, I should say. But I would like to see him step up, you know, because if he's going 140, I mean, the next person on 140 is on top rank, and I know they're not going to fight, so I don't know who's left for him to fight. But other than that, that's my time, y'all.
Lionel, excellent call, my friend. Thank you for participating.
What was his pick? Did we get a pick out of Lionel between Billy Joe Saunders and David Lemieux?
Lionel, you trying to duck the show? What up? Lemieux by knockout.
Lemieux, my bad.
No problem.
All right.
Yeah,
we got.
He's gonna press him. I feel like he's gonna press him, and if he doesn't, I feel like he can just press him and get him out of there. It's gonna be late though.
All right, Lionel, but thanks for calling in. We're going out to 626-482. I believe that's Arizona, Matt. Not sure.
No. Ness, I'm just listening. You can go ahead with the show.
No problem, brother. Oh, is that James?
Oh, I'm sorry. I muted.
Was that James? That could have.
I sound like James when he said like brother. That was a James. That's
no.
Oh, damn! You sound just like James.
I would have pressed.
Ishmael from Shacktown.
TB, what's happening? What's happening?
What's going on, Ish?
All right. Just let me burn for a couple of minutes here. Starting off with the fight this weekend, I'm gonna take Billy Joe Saunders by outboxing him, and not only that, I want Billy Joe Saunders to win just because Oscar might pull a bullshit move with the Canelo versus David Lemieux, which I totally want to avoid. On the Mikey fight, I obviously got Mikey, but I like the fight versus Lipinets because it's an in-house fight. And it's going to lead to the biggest possible payday for Lipinets. It's going to give Mikey a chance to become a 4-division champ and lead to an in-house unification because on that same card, Barthélemy is rematching Kirill Relic for the WBA Super Championship at 140. So if you put Barthélemy and Mikey together for in-house PBC unification at 140, that's great. And then Mikey can also keep that belt at 135 and then go back and then unify with Lainez and be a unified champ in 2 divisions simultaneously, like Floyd was. So that's a big opportunity across those boards. And then I wanted to touch on something y'all was talking about earlier with Heyman in the promoter situation. A lot of fighters that's on PBC or just under Heyman advisory, they got promoters and they come with promoters and sometimes they sign with promoters later. Like Caleb Truax is with Warriors Boxing, Lipinets is with TGB Promotions, David Benavidez is with Samson Boxing, and even the more popular dude like Gervonta Davis is with Mayweather Promotions. So all Al Heyman fighters don't avoid promoters. It's the ones that get to the top level that don't need a promoter to push them, like Mikey. So other than that, man, I love y'all show, man. I can't call in all the time, but y'all do y'all thing, man. Internationally, man, y'all the #1 podcast and YouTube thing and everything going. So y'all keep doing y'all thing, and that's my call, fellas.
Thank you, Ishmael. And if you haven't already, drop us a 5-star review. Those words on an iTunes review mean a ton. Let's go out to Matthew.
Thank you. Did you watch the Katie Taylor card on Wednesday by chance? Or yesterday, I should say? I'm not looking at the screen, Nestor. Are you just looking at me with a look? Yeah, you are, huh? Watch it.
What? What?
Ness, did you hear me or did I cut out?
Yeah, you cut out. You said something.
Oh man, because it's Google Hangouts been fucking up. I said, did you watch the Katie Taylor card?
Oh yeah. I thought you knew what I meant with the soundbite.
I didn't hear the soundbite. I must have cut out before that.
Call you cut out.
You totally were right there. I guess you were just like a frozen version.
Jimmy doesn't have an overlay, so it's okay. You know. People cut out. Google Hangout. Net neutrality is gone, guys. This happens. Like the internet's not the same now.
You should play the X-Files bite now.
Oh, I should have. Damn.
You're late. Let's go to JP.
Long Beach in the house. Yeah.
Hey, man. Hey, Mikey Garcia is very interesting. And Mikey Garcia is a very interesting case. One reason being, he's like definitely the people's champ, whereas people, Canelo is supposed to be the star, but all my Mexican partners and everybody seem to favor Mikey Garcia by far. They just like his style. They like his get down. He's kind of a calm dude, doesn't talk a lot of smack and backs it up in the ring. I got one precaution. You could put me down for Lemieux. Put me down for Lemieux. I don't think Billy Joe is he's just not in the stage of his career where he's willing to go through the depths of getting through a dude like Lemieux. To beat Lemieux, man, you gonna have to dig deep, and I don't think Billy Joe willing to do it. Badu Jack, Adonis Stevenson, very similar case there, where I don't think that Adonis, if he's not able to knock Badu out within 6 rounds, he's not going to be willing to dig deep enough to outwork Badu. So I'll take Badu there. Crawford, this is a precaution fight. This is that classic fight. This is that Mayweather Castillo. This is Leonard Duran. This is Broner Maidana. This is when the young dude is going up in weight, and then he's coming up against a dog. And let's not get it twisted, dude, because of the optics of Jeff Hearn. That's one fighting dude. That dude fight, man, and he can fight, and he got like all the intangibles that you can't see. Got some power, got a little more speed than you think, got a little more technique than you think. And Crawford, first time up to 147, the physicality is going to be much different. This is biting off a lot, dude. You got to watch these kind of fights. It's that classic fight where this happens. You always see this fight where you got that guy. And this is Broner Maidana. And it could turn out that way, man. I hate to see it. But they rushing him up there with a dog. But, yeah, though, guys, great show as usual. That's my call.
All right, JP. I didn't know whether to laugh or take him serious.
With what?
His comparison of Crawford Hearn to like
Epic.
Marcus Maidana versus Broner, and
just to put in perspective, hold on, just to put in perspective here. Let's all be honest. Maidana was coming off of an Amir Khan loss, a couple other losses.
A long time ago. When he got Broner, bro, he had a big ass run. Remember, he beat Carras, Josecito Lopez. Then he beat someone else. Then he got Broner. Then he got 2 Floyd fights. You bugging, bro. You forgetting Maidana, man.
I'll be honest though. A lot of people were counting out Maidana in that fight. We have to be honest.
Hell yeah, I did. I went to war with Garcia thinking Broner would beat him.
I mean, that's what I'm trying to get at. That a lot of people maybe doubting Jeff Hearn completely and writing him off completely, like we've done with other fighters, and he has some dog in him, which could lead to an exciting fight.
Still not the level like Maidana's known. Jeff Hearn's nobody.
And Broner isn't the comparison to Crawford.
Yeah, exactly. Crawford. I mean, I don't know. Let's get to
Joe.
No, it's Georgie Porgy there. Unless that's not him.
I thought Info Joe got that.
Oh, the ringer status. You're right. Yo, you're horrible, man.
I write it. What do you mean?
Yo, you can bring him on. Stop acting like you need him.
We call In the Know, presented by my brother.
Yo, what's up, my boxing brothers? Yo, I like Teddy, man. I wish he would have stayed on being the commentator, man. He's the most passionate boxing commentator that there is. And sometimes, even if we don't agree with him always, he speaks his truth, and I like that. It's not going to be the same, man. It needs somebody else, man. It's kind of boring without him. But I hope he shout out to Teddy, man, for all he been on ESPN for 20 years. We've been listening to this dude, so I'm used to him blowing his stack and and going off. You know, he does go overboard a bit, but you know, that's what you get from Teddy. You know what I'm saying? But put me down for Lemieux. And shout out to Antoine Douglas, man. I hope this is a good comeback fight, man, where he can shine again, man. I like that kid. I used to love seeing his mom go crazy in the audience. Shout out to the DMV for that kid. What else we got? Did anybody make a pick on Diego Chavez and Jamal James? Who y'all got?
When is that fight happening? I remember it got signed up, but when is it happening?
I think it's tomorrow, man, right?
Wow, no way.
On undercard of Jesse Vargas Herrera fight, man.
Oh, that's right. That's
Is that tomorrow too?
Jesse Vargas fight that no one cares about.
Oh man.
Yeah, but look, man, I heard other people say that. Anyway, go ahead, Joe. We'll come back to that. Yeah, I heard other people.
No, I think that's gonna be a good fight. I'm not gonna make a pick on that. I'm gonna stick with any more pro for me, man. Shit, I'm gonna throw up. Shit. That's my call, brothers. Great show. Peace.
All right, Joe.
And he is right. That card is tomorrow. Jesse Vargas versus Aaron Herrera, Diego Chavez versus Jamal James, and John Molina Jr. versus Ivan Redcash. I like that fight.
Yo, so
who is Joe? We got Joe down for
fix yourself, Doomsday. Come on, get it together. Let's do this. Matt, so I've heard other people say this, right? I've heard other journalists talk about Jesse Vargas and how it was a bad decision for him to sign Al Heyman. It's like, yo, what are you doing? Oh, that's right, you're fighting Herrera. You know, dun, the joke, right? Yeah. So rumor is he could have had maybe a Cotto shot, but it would still come with the same deal, signing to Golden Boy. And with Top Rank, you know, they obviously weren't offering him anything because he left. He knew that Bob kind of had the route laid out for Crawford, as we see. The minute Jeff Horn beat Pacquiao, even controversially, we all knew Crawford was moving up. We called it, and we watched it happen before our eyes. He didn't defend any of the belts after he unified. Slowly, he vacated one at a time until the headlines said that he was the WBO mandatory for Jeff Horn. You know, so Jesse decided to make a business decision that is going to better suit him. If all the chips are in favor of Crawford, why stay over there? I mean, he's always going to be the B-side. And remember, in his opinion, he was already on a Pacquiao pay-per-view. In his opinion, he sold more pay-per-views than Crawford's Victor Postal 50,000.
Which is technically true, obviously.
So, you know, when people are all snarky and laughing and saying that he didn't, you know, oh, and you are like, yo, he's fighting a guy no one cares about. It's like, all right, let's backtrack now. Help me so I don't have to Google it myself. But when's the last time he did fight? This is typical of a fighter who isn't active to get a tune-up.
Or I would even say this is typical of when Al Heyman gets a big-time fighter and is stable for their first fight.
Hell yeah, you give him that $800 tune-up, $800,000 tune-up that go get your house money.
Right, putting on my promoter hat, this is the right move for Jesse Vargas because it's just a quick introduction to the PBC audience, and you're going to start mentioning him with names like a Keith Thurman, like an Earl Spence, like a Sean Porter.
Let's be honest, bro. He is getting the Thurman fight. You know what I'm saying? He's got Thurman next all day.
Yes, but let me finish very quickly. I think that doesn't take away from the fact that I can still clown this matchup because this is a huge mismatch. So I'm still going to clown this matchup from a fan.
I don't understand this.
From a fan
perspective, Matt. It's different. Like these words, I get it. It's good for entertainment and everything, but it's unfair. A fighter is out of the ring 5-6 months and he wants a tune-up. It's not a mismatch. It's a tune-up. You got to call it what it is. It's a tune-up. You can't call it something else because you feel like being mean at the time, or you're upset that fighter's been inactive and you want
all tune-ups are mismatches. So I don't know what I said that was wrong. What did I say that was incorrect or mean? Because isn't just saying a mismatch or a tune-up the same thing?
No.
Really?
Mismatch is a more aggressive term.
Okay. And that's up for debate and opinion.
And you know, your tone could be misunderstood in saying that, whereas tune-up, it's a definition. It's self-explanatory.
More respectable.
Absolutely. It's just like bum and journeyman. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. I'll put it this way. I would have liked for Jesse Vargas to fight a guy that's obviously completely winnable. It's a tune-up, but still somebody we a little bit recognize more, I guess. I don't know. I'm just not really, like you said, like we forgot about this. You forgot about it too for a reason.
Oh, I definitely
like nobody cares about this. That
I
is
did not
true.
know Jesse Vargas was fighting at
That
all.
doesn't take away that this is still the right step for Jesse Vargas. Because those are both true. This is a bad matchup that no one cares about, but this is also the right step.
Yes. I mean, look, backtracking, he hadn't fought since Pacquiao, bro. That's his last fight, bro.
I know.
I mean, when did his promotional contract end with Top Rank?
I would assume that it ended now because it sounds like he was a free agent. That's what it sounds.
Yeah, man, that is a long time to sit out and expect him to go in there straight into Keith Thurman.
I didn't say that, by the way.
Mind you, more than likely he's going straight into Keith Thurman. You know, disrespectful of BoxRec. They don't even got a picture for Jesse Vargas. Like, he fought Pacquiao, for God's sakes. He knocked out Saddam Ali, who just beat up Miguel Cotto. Like, disrespectful, BoxRec. Dropping the ball.
Is it just like not loading, or is there not one there?
No, it's a great silhouette, dude, of a fighter. It's like fucked up.
Damn, they hit him with the gray silhouette.
Oh, man.
So sad. It's like, yo, Vargas has fought Pacquiao, Ali, Tim Bradley, Antonio DeMarco, like Lucky Boy Amatoso. Yo, he's got names. He even fought Stevie Forbes. That's recognizable shit. Leonardo Tyner, Josecito Lopez. Yo, Vivian Harris. Yo, his resume's deep. No. All jokes aside, you can turn that off. Like, in retrospect.
Oh, he has a good resume.
It's a fucking deep little resume.
There's
like,
an argument that he should be definitely ranked above
Vivian Harris, recognizable name. Journeyman, you know, barometer type guy. Walter Estrada, Josecito Lopez, Leonardo Tyner. And look, Porter just used Tyner when they were waiting for the Thurman fight. Remember, they had a fucking exhibition with that guy, no headgear and everything. Stevie Forbes fought De La Hoya, recognizable name. Aaron Martinez, I don't know if that's the same Aaron that beat up Robert Guerrero, is it? Is that the same Aaron Martinez?
I don't know. Click on BoxRec. I'm not on BoxRec.
I mean, look, B. Oliver Kurdiev that you know had a vacant title shot with Broner DeMarco, who beat Linares, beat the crap out of Linares, beat the dog shit out of Linares on HBO. Remember that, Matt?
When was that Linares fight, and when was the DeMarco fight for Jesse Vargas? You know what I mean? Like, come on. Like, you can just simply just call out names without.
I was rubbing it in. I was rubbing it in because yesterday you was trying to say how Linares and Mikey should have happened, and I'm just trying to remind you that.
I'll put it this way: Linares Mikey should still happen over the Lipinets fight. But you know.
So then he went in there with Bradley, and look, let's be honest, a meaner boxing fan could come in here and be like, "Yo, Ness, please, that fight with Oliver Kurdiev was boring. So was the one with Anton Nokov or Nikotov or Nikolov on HBO. There were two back-to-back Eastern European fights that HBO gave Jesse Vargas that they weren't good. So then they put him right back in there versus Timothy Bradley. And let's be honest, he got outclassed for 11 rounds till he got what many boxing fans would call a lucky punch. And he ran with the narrative that he scored a knockout and was robbed by the referee. And that worked. That worked. It got him another HBO fight where he knocked out Ali, and that catapulted him into a Pacquiao fight. So, you know, Cinderella story, Rocky story, I don't know. But I believe that I think that the way you can assess it is the way that Eddie Hearn said, right? Guys like Selby and DeGale came to America and made a boatload of cash for a little bit of fights, but it didn't do much for their star power. So Jesse Vargas is the opposite. He's been on the other side of the track where he's been with the big machine promoter that does a lot for your brand, but doesn't really pay you a lot for your fight. So he decided to go the other route and get a lot of money for the fight where you'll say things like, hey, I didn't know Jesse Vargas was fighting. But he's probably getting 1.2 or 875,000, something like that for this shit. You know?
Let's be honest here. Even when he was in that, quote unquote machine, that marketing machine that is Top Rank compared to these other promoters in the US, he wasn't that guy. He never really got pushed by Top Rank in any sort of way.
B-side all day.
It was always the B-side. Even Jeff Hearn has been pushed more by fucking Top Rank.
Let's not forget, Ali was the A-side when he lost to Jesse.
Yes, Ali was about to get a title shot. That's what we were all thinking.
It was do or die, remember? That's how he's out of this contract. Let's remember that they were saying on HBO, it's like, oh, Jesse Vargas, he hasn't been looking good. He's got to win this fight. Boom. He won it. But strategically, he never re-upped. He didn't sign up, bro. And look, he waited the contract out and then he's gone. And let's see, right? He'll get a Thurman shot. He'll get a Thurman shot. And I mean, I'm expecting Thurman to do what Bradley did. And it would be, the problem is Thurman is coming off an elbow injury himself when he faces Jesse. But if Thurman was 100%, I wouldn't even accept anything less than a Bradley type of performance ending in some sort of stoppage for Thurman, because he's just as agile and athletic as Bradley, but way more powerful. His shots are going to count more. But he's coming off the injury, whatever. I like Jesse being in the mix. Listen, I don't have sides the way people think. I just wish we all were Rodney King and could get along, and then we didn't have to sound like we have sides, because to me it's just difficult when I feel like when fighters are with Bob, they rarely fight the other top fighters in the boxing world. They just fight Bob's top fighters in his boxing world, and people may say differently, but we see Warriors and TGB and DeBella and Yvonne Michelle, and
you are naming smaller promoters though. Smaller promoters do have to.
I'm going through all. Top Rank and Al have done 3 back-to-back businesses.
Let's be honest. When you're a big-time promoter, it's easier to do in-house fights. So that's why Golden Boy, Top Rank, and Matt from Sports, they do more in-house cards because they can. They have the stable fighters to be able to put on those shows. Those small-time promoters don't have those stables to do consistent in-house events.
We'll see, because Bob made it clear that his guy Crawford is going to get those Danny fights, Thurman fights, and he says that the Earl is a pay-per-view.
And also, just to add, sorry, not to interrupt you, but just to add that it seems that Top Rank and maybe now Golden Boy nowadays are starting to relax on, the Cold War and not working with Al.
We're attempting at it, because we did see Oscar De La Hoya offer the services of Lainez to Lomachenko. Call it serve up, but Matt isn't pitching any campaign for that feeding.
That fight's not happening next.
No, but that's what De La Hoya wants, though. He said, "Oh, we'll put Lainez in with Lomachenko."
Yeah, I think it's a great fight.
Yeah, that Lainez doesn't win.
Yes, but I also would love to see Lainez versus Mikey, but I don't think Lainez wins that one either.
All right, but you're also not saying that his promoter is being a bad promoter by putting him in fights that he's not going to win. Remember that?
I think Lainez has a much better chance of beating Mikey Garcia than Sergey Lipinets.
Okay.
And I think that goes without saying.
Maybe.
Want to go to Georgie Porgy now?
Yo, first of all, let me say, I don't pay Showtime to see you all there, not even putting a goddamn motherfucking effort. If I want to see two motherfuckers just fight, I pick up a fight with somebody in the street. Don't need that shit. You don't love that form I do? Just move along. Gone. Fuck you. Next, what a great show. Thumbs up, donate.
Low energy today, B. Low energy. Yo, listen, B. You there?
Yes.
Listen, man. Billy Ho is fucking filth. Filth. That nigga getting knocked the fuck out before the 10th round. That's a no-brainer. Fuck out of here with Billy Ho. Teddy Atlas got shafts.
The fucking Masters, as soon as you start talking about this conglomerate of frauds, combaggery, what you get, boom, the booth. Outrageous. ESPN without Teddy Atlas. I've seen it all, man. This is fucking crazy, man. Unbelievable. Another shit. Fucking really broke a fucking Patreon. Zap Judah fucking a nurse. Jojo down driving an Uber. The fuck's up with boxing? This shit is crazy. Another point that I want to make real quick. We need a consensus on what the fuck is a tune-up. Me growing up, a tune-up was the fight before the big fight. Before a really good fight. Now motherfucker got like 3 tune-ups in the row. You cannot have 3 tune-ups in the row. That's impossible. It's like the fucking terminology that we used back in the day don't mean shit now these days.
Oh, could you give me an example? Can you give me an example of someone that had 3 tune-ups in a row?
Billy the fucking hoe?
Well, I wouldn't call Willie Monroe.
Willie Monroe.
Willie Monroe ain't no tune-up.
Willie Monroe ain't shit. That motherfucker don't even got a fucking game plan. Not if he go there for the paycheck. The same shit that he did with Triple G. You mean that motherfucker ain't no tune-up?
Well, all right. Listen,
Monroe, it ain't shit.
You can have that opinion, but Willie Monroe is more accomplished than, let's say, like a Brian Vera. I mean, there's many other middleweights. There's many
Willie
other.
Monroe ain't shit, buddy.
There's many other
middleweights.
middleweights.
Like you push up Jerry for like fucking 3 years, and Jerry's another piece of shit. It's a bunch of niggas you should not even talk about, man.
I mean, all those
And
guys,
another
a
shit
guy
that we
like
need
Algieri, you shouldn't say that because he won a world title and he didn't even get knocked out by Pacquiao.
Against who? Against who, man?
Ruslan
Against
Pavatnikov.
who?
Ruslan Pavatnikov.
And where the fuck is Pavatnikov at?
It's
And
not
where
a walk in the park.
Where he be?
What do you
Fuck
mean
outta
where
here.
he's at? He's where he's at because of his style, because it was that dangerous for his opponent and for himself.
Because he's a piece of shit and we should not be glamorizing these people. They're not in the level. See fucking
You shouldn't be degrading. You shouldn't be degrading. You shouldn't be degrading. That's unfair. You calling Chris Algieri? You calling Chrissy?
We don't need to waste time on.
You
That's why
calling
we
Chris
don't get the
Algieri
good
a piece
fight,
of
so we
shit
waste
and
time
he
and
won a
money
world
more.
title? He won a world title and he wasn't gifted that world
Garbage.
title.
So George, who do we got?
Whatever.
Billy Joe versus David.
Another shit that we need a consent. Listen, another shit that we need a consensus in the man's prime from 27 to 33. Heavyweight, they extending a little further, but that's about it. And now, motherfucker, even fucking debating what a fucking man prime is. Ridiculous, man. Like boxing, I don't know what the fuck is going on, B.
Dog, I don't think prime has to do with age,
out
man.
there to pull. Yeah, okay, Mr. Gibbs.
All right.
Everybody out there donates to Paul Amaury.
Yo, I don't think prime has to do with age, man. I think that, for instance, a guy like Rosado, you know, you start coming into your own when you come into your own, you know what I mean? You get more confident. You learn on the job. Things change for you. And that could be considered you in your prime when you're on your hot streak.
Usually when your hot streak is, that's when you.
That's when what?
Whenever you have that hot streak, like you said, that's usually when we ascribe that your prime was. I don't think Rosado's in a hot streak now. I think he had one. But again, usually athletically, physiologically,
I don't know. I mean, remember, to the world, he beat Willie Monroe. Excuse me, not Monroe, Murray. Right?
True, but then that's just Murray.
Yeah,
Like,
but so you're coming off a Murray win and then the Glenn Tapia knockout.
that's not a run. That's not anything close to a run.
Dude, but most fighters fight 2 times a year. He gets 2 notable fucking wins, one internationally, one on prime television. You're like, what's a run then? What's a run to you?
He wants like a 4, like a David Lemieux 4-0 streak.
More than 2 fights, definitely.
I mean, again,
in your prime, you may be losing fights in your prime. So, I mean,
but these type of fighters, these big names or bigger names, you know, they only fight twice a year. Like, I don't know what you're asking for here.
your prime is usually over multiple years. So I'm not looking at 1 year. Has Gabe Rosado had a good year?
All
Yeah.
right, but that's my point.
That's the point of when his prime is.
All right, but that's my point. It's not about age. It's about when you're doing your best. So now, okay, capitalizing off of what he did 2017, we got all these middleweights mixing it up end of the year and beginning of next year, or for obviously for the next year. We're gonna have an outcome here with Lemieux and whoever, Saunders, right? There's also that other middleweight fight on the undercard with Gary O'Sullivan. Then you got Andrade that's newly in the mix with HBO. Jacobs that's newly in the mix. You don't think a guy like Gabe is going to get an opportunity? And if he can win that next fight, we will be saying it's his prime. And that's all I'm trying to prove, that it's not about age. Like if Gabe gets Andre is a far stretch.
Hold on. I think Gabe's a bad example because none of us believe he's going to beat those guys. That's the issue with bringing Gabe.
All right, but look, I can set up a win.
Let me finish.
I can set up a win with if Douglas beats Gary on the undercard, they could easily put Gabe and Douglas on the undercard of, let's say.
Don't worry more about that. Don't worry about that. Just hypothetical world. You just said it. If Gabe Rosado got one of those big fights in the top 5 and beat them, we would say that's his prime. That this is now his prime. You're absolutely right. But he hasn't done that yet. That's why we can't say that yet. That's more of a question mark. That's why Gabe's a bad example. But like Chris Algieri, when he obviously was going through the ranks and then beat Provodnikov, that was his run. That was his prime. And then he loses to Pacquiao. I would still say he's in his prime. And then Amir Khan, and he loses to that, and then he's slowly slipping out of it. That's usually how your prime goes. You have a big win, then you have a couple losses as you ease your way out of your prime. Usually how it is.
90 seconds.
Yeah, it's usually associated with age, unfortunately. That's how
I think it is associated. I just don't think that it's the
reason why, though, is because of physiologically, men are usually at their peak physical around 27 to 32.
I just want to go back again to something else that Georgie, right? He called Gabe Rosado and like Chris Algieri, pieces of shit, right? But like a guy like Gabe, outside of losses before Gennady, okay? Before Gennady, he had losses. But again, this is what I'm telling you about peaks and primes, all right? Because we as boxing fans, we're fickle. We forget. But let's remember that Gabe Rosado, many, many moons ago, in 2009 on ESPN, while Telly Atlas still existed, lost to Alfredo Angulo, okay? That long ago. So he had to rebuild then. There's a reason he was in the Rocky movie, okay? He got a great run after that. I remember interviewing him and everything.
10 seconds.
He lost to Derek Innes after he had a 2-fight win after the Angulo fight. And he felt he had won that Innes fight. He got robbed, and he buckled down, and he said he was going to take it serious. He stopped working at Home Depot. He got with, what's that kid's name? Man, what's that coach's name? It's Billy Briscoe. And they went on a run. NBC decided to invest in boxing. Oh my God, I feel old right now. NBC decided to invest in boxing and main events. Kathy Duval was the first person to strike a deal with NBC, and it was called like NBC Sports Net or some shit back then, a couple years ago, not too long ago. But she was able to put on some decent shows and give some of these second-tier fighters opportunities. She also was able to build Kovalev, something that we spoke about earlier that Sergey Lipinets was not able to do. She put Kovalev in Sands Bethlehem Casino, the PA area, very close to Atlantic City. Also put him in Atlantic City. Also put him in the Garden. But while she had this NBC, I think it was like a 2-year deal. She had Zab and everything. I remember, damn, what happened to that light-skinned 140-pound guy? Oh, my God. He made so much noise. He was such a shit talker, bro. And he lost to Zab on NBC Sports. Remember that? Vernon Paris, wasn't it?
Yes.
Oh, my God. Yo, I used to love that kid. He had me fooled. I love shit talkers. You could sell me if you're a shit talker, bro.
I think Rosado is very hard to nail down for prime because he's no, let me finish. Because he sort of has like a Mickey Ward resume.
Yes, up and down.
It's up and down. But I would say after that that Derek Enos loss, that run where he beat Josecito Carras, or Carras, sorry.
Fu Powell, Chris Whitaker, then he got the
that was probably his prime, I would argue.
All right, but so that's my argument. So then that was his prime, right? He got battered. He got battered by Gennady. It's over. His prime is over, according to your logic, right? Now think about it. He came back and beat the crap out of Jay Leon Love, and they robbed him because Jay Leon was on drugs, right? So then he gets beat up, but he don't even get beat up. Some Peter Quillen haters call into this show saying that Rosado was beating Quillen, and he hurt Quillen, and he got stopped on cuts. But we'll take the latter, which is he lost to Quillen, right? And then
he lost to Mel Charlo.
Exactly. And then he lost to Lemieux. So if we thought he lost his prime after Gennady, he just got he went to fucking hell under hell after losing to all those guys, Quillen, Jamel Charlo, and Lemieux. Then what did he do? Rocky fucking Balboa. Beats Clottey, beats Antonio Gutierrez, loses again to Monroe. You know, that was a tough fight. Obviously, Monroe is a difficult style. You don't have that power to hurt Monroe.
Too. It was an ugly fight.
It was. So, you know, look, coming off of the Monroe loss, where he clearly lost, he had no choice but to what? Pack his bags and go on the road overseas. And again, this is where we talk about prime and years, bro. You can't just put it on that because now he goes overseas and off of a loss win. This kid that's fighting Jamal James. What's his name? Diego Chavez type of win-loss here where you lose, but you look good losing and you get a fight. So now he's got this Glenn Tapia fight and he won again. Like, where do you nail down this kid's prime? He's like a mountain with valleys and peaks going up and down. He's a roller coaster.
I would still say that his prime was that Carras run, but any fighter can have a career renaissance. That does happen. It's rare, but it does happen where you see a fighter come on late in their career and have some major success and maybe even go on a second run. That does happen. It absolutely does happen. But again, Rosado is limited here. Rosado would have to beat someone on a Carras at that time level. And I don't know if Glenn Tapia is that.
Orlando Salido is another example that would be like a Rubik's Cube in this conversation.
Yes.
All right, then. So
you really can't nail down a run. Because even his losses, it was good. Like Salido's even, I would say, harder to say. Because he had so many losses that were fight of the years where you really don't care who won and lost.
And this is why I take it so personal when he says, you know, oh, he's a piece of shit. Because think about a guy like Angulo. He suffered a few losses and had to retire. Ruslan suffered a few losses and had to retire.
By their styles, too.
Gabe keeps reinventing and reinventing. Gabe's social media is popular as hell. Look, I'm not glorifying him or glamorizing him. It's just, dog, we got to give credit where credit is due. It's motherfucking hard to jump rope for 12 minutes. It was easier when it was a younger version of Ness talking shit. Man, it's hard to jump rope for 10 minutes or 12 minutes. So, you know, you fat dudes coming on here talking about people's pieces of shit or this guy's resume is whack. He won a world fucking title. That shit is tough.
And also, very quickly, just because you're not the best guy in the division doesn't mean you don't have a prime. Everyone has a prime. Their primes are just different. No two primes are the same. No two runs are the same either in a way. Like a Rosado, you know, he had a prime. He may not have been the best guy in the division at any point, but he 100% had a run, 100% had a prime, because every fighter does have that. Unless they're a guy that's a 5-48 record. One of those guys, you know.
I'll tell you how I relate, right? Like Gabe's an inner city dude. You know, a couple years ago, you Google Gabe and he had a picture come up with where he was in a jumpsuit from the county with a super duper black eye. You know what I'm saying? Gabe's got about 2 daughters that, in retrospect, can be so fucking proud of their dad. You know, The kid's a movie star, for God's sake. I mean, some of you guys have the fucking nerve. You know, I'm taking it way too personal, but Jesus, you need to check yourselves. I mean, yo, he's a movie star. I mean, he can die happy.
Very relative. Movie star is relative.
Well, he's been in more than one movie.
Been in
more than one movie. He's been able to relocate from Philadelphia to Los Angeles to Hollywood and live that life.
Brad Pitt is a movie star. Gabriel Rosado is not a movie star.
Matt is such a fucking, you know.
He just went into the A, B, C, D
Yeah,
list.
a little half cup of water guy, this guy over here. The bottom line is, bro.
He's from LA.
He's got a great story, bro. He's got a great story, and he should be inspiration. Because, look, it's like,
he absolutely is.
how many fucking losses does he got?
11.
11.
Good quality
But
opponents.
look at all the names that he's been in there with, dog. Like, think about some of the other journeymen that have fought with, like, the likes of Hagler and Leonard and Hearns. They ain't been in there with this type of names. When we talked about Jesse Vargas and we said, yo, this kid's resume in retrospect is pretty nice, motherfucker, so is Gabe Rosado's.
Gabe Rosado is also like a Fernando Vargas because he fought real one after real one after real one. Like
early too, and he learned on the job. He didn't have the courtesy of going to the amateurs and having a special coach and people watching him. He did it on his own. Home Depot.
Like, think about this: Gennady Golovkin, Jay Leon Love, Peter Quillen, Jamel Charlo, David Lemieux, all in a row consecutively. Those are 5 really hard fights, all back to back to back.
But listen, you or I, right, would not beat his first 3 before. Jesus Sotocaraz, Shakur Powell, and Chris Whitaker. Man, it's dozens. There's millions of us that couldn't beat those guys. Man, Jesus Sotocaraz beat fucking Berto. Yeah, his arm broke, but he beat him. He beat him. He was there. And he went to war with Mike Jones. So even when you could hurt Karas, he still stays standing. He hurt Keith Thurman. Thurman is on our 300 interview saying that's the guy that hurt him the most. You know what I mean? So again, just check yourselves, man. Fucking weirdos. Anyway, what else are we talking about? We're pretty much done.
Yeah, that could have been the final thoughts.
That could have been the Teddy Atlas in me right there. Young Teddy. Young Teddy coming out.
Yo, Rosado, since I think I bigged up you a lot here, you should unblock me from Twitter for no reason.
What the fuck? Yo, everybody got you blocked.
No, not everyone.
What's up with you and Alex? Are you and Alex still cool? Because I seen like a Twitter thread and it's like, whoa, you guys really went at each other.
I don't think Alex is cool with me anymore, man. He wanted to say that I was a cross-dresser and I spanked my own ass, and then I made a your mama joke.
Whoa, we didn't have to get all the details. I'm just saying, I seen some tweets. I'm like, so I think I was talking Rob. He's like, no, those guys always go at it like that, and then they're friends on the show. I'm like, really? I never knew. You guys were going like really in right there.
This seemed different, but again, that's on Alex. You know, if you wanted to shit, you got to take it.
Limo?
No, not Alex Lemon. Alex from Australia.
Oh snap!
Yeah, yo, you got to roll a cone to that, man. 2 potheads can't be mad.
Yeah, I wasn't even that mad. It's kind of on him, but it doesn't matter. It really does not matter. So, final thoughts. David Lemieux versus Joe Saunders. I think David Lemieux is going to win this. I think he's going to knock him out eventually and finish him. But there's arguments there that Joe Saunders has a path to victory, and I understand that. And if he does, he might get that Canelo fight. This might be the Canelo sweepstake fight. We don't think about that. But this might be the one that stops that rematch from happening in May between Canelo and Triple G. So, you know, stay tuned on HBO on Saturday for this. Mikey Garcia versus Sergey Lipinets. You know my thoughts. I think it is a belt grab by Mikey, and it is a cash grab by Sergey Lipinets. Can't blame both of them for doing that. That's the way of the sport. That's business. Jeff Horn versus Terence Crawford in Vegas. I don't like that. Even though Terence Crawford is, you know, kind of the A side in some ways. He's being pushed by the promoter obviously more than Jeff Horn. He's sort of the face of Top Rank at this point right now. I still think having that fight against 60,000 people in Australia is fun. I love those atmospheres. I love those stadium shows. So I wish that happens. And Eddie Hearn wanting Tyson Fury versus Dillian Whyte. Love that matchup. I hope it happens in the first half of next year. And we see Tyson Fury come back. Yeah, that's it. I'm Matt Thaboxingvoice. You can find me at Mixed Combat News on Twitter, MattHunterTBV on Instagram, and my MMA podcast, Mixed Combat Radios on Patreon, SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, etc. And patreon.com/Thaboxingvoice to see my solo dolo TBV podcast, The Standing 8 Count.
Dubbed.
The second episode dropping tomorrow. So yes, stay tuned for that. Peace.
trying to get a special invite to that segment.
We're not allowed. We're not allowed.
We're not allowed and shit.
Yo, you guys have not presented any topics to me. I'll put this right. The reason why Enrique is on tomorrow, and salute to Enrique for jumping on.
Wait a minute. You still got Enrique on? I thought that surprise guest was gonna trump him.
No, that surprise guest isn't trumping him.
Okay.
Enrique brought a topic, so if one of you brings a topic, we can definitely do a cameo appearance from one of you guys. The other desk.
A cameo.
But yes, peace, everyone. Have a good weekend.
Oh man. Final thoughts. What can I say? Guys, out of all, I think it was about 15 picks today. 11 were all David Lemieux. So it looks like David Lemieux has got the majority, at least for the picks for today. I think Billy Joe's going to manage to outbox him. It's not going to be a super impressive victory for Billy Joe, but he will win, in my opinion. Lipinets and Mikey. I know that we differed on this opinion, Matt, but I believe this is a great opportunity for Lipinets, a hardworking kid who's been brought up pretty fast. So and I still think it's going to be a decent fight. So Jeff Hearn, Crawford, that's when I agree with you, Matt. Or if not, maybe I don't. Maybe just feed him to the shark. Let's get it over with, right?
The Lipinets doesn't have a Pacquiao on his resume. He doesn't even have a Randall Bailey on his resume. Come on.
And Tyson, we're waiting for you, buddy. First quarter, second half, third quarter. Just don't make us wait to the end of the year. And my name's Alexander Lainez. You can catch me on Facebook. IG is Alex_Doomsday_Lainez. And on Twitter, AlexTBB Lainez. And don't forget to check us out on Patreon. And check out all the exclusive interviews and overtime episodes that are really interesting sometimes.
They are. Are we doing overtime today, Matt?
Nope, Sunday. You know why?
Why?
We all have homework.
Why?
Star Wars movie comes out tonight. Come on, fam.
I don't do Star Wars. I've never. I gotta go though. I'm on Instagram and Twitter at NestGTO. If Matt changes his mind, I'm totally down for. Sunday is good. I guess Sunday is good. I guess.
Why you spin off on George Lucas like that?
Yeah, come on, man. Who are you? I have seen movies with you that were bad, and you come out saying they're good.
Yeah, but Star Wars is this long web of shit. You got it. Like it's so many little doors and Easter eggs, and
so does the Marvel movies. The Marvel movies has Easter
books, and you got to follow fucking podcasts, and you got to follow fucking Wizard of Oz's, and
there are more Marvel movies,
and there's R2D2s, and there's
I think Ness doesn't want to go back to watching the Harrison Ford ones.
I don't understand how Ness, who will big up the Marvel Cinematic Universe,
they still got Harrison Ford.
They got 30 fucking movies.
I gotta go. Bye.